here. Get AR here, bro. What the
Is he
fuck?
even in the server? Wait.
AR's not even here or in the server.
This,
Oh my
fuck
God.
isn't even in the
Dude,
server.
here, wait. Let me send him the invite. This is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, I feel like we should probably do that.
Adam,
Same
Venmo, eat Muse
Yeah, I'm
$40
downloading
now,
Venmo right now.
and then give me your PayPal, Adam, and or your Revolt, and I'll
Sure.
send you the $20 now.
Cool. All right, I'm downloading. I'm re-downloading. I had to update Venmo. I'm downloading it now. I'll pay,
Download
right now.
Revolut as well, Adam. Download Revolut as well.
Yeah, I'm downloading both actually. Yeah.
Okay, good. Somebody get AR in here. Did he like run away?
I just invited him.
I also don't understand. What are we talking about? We're just he just wants to
Fine-tuning.
talk about the fine-tuning argument. Like
He's
he has
going to be
objections
running a
to it.
Bayes argument for fine-tuning.
Yeah, the debate is, does God exist? And you're gonna defend the
Wait.
fine-tuning argument.
Do you guys want to go to a stage?
Well, I don't know what's better. You guys
Well,
know technology more than I.
It's fine.
I think it's
fine.
better-
Well, hold on. It's fine. We do this. If anything, I can moderate.
Hey,
If
guys.
it becomes like annoying,
Guys.
we could just move to a stage. I don't think we need.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
stage.
Let's just stay.
I just want.
It says, wait, hold on. AR just said it. Said he needs to wait 10 minutes.
What?
Okay, that's fine. We can.
What?
It's fine. Invite all of your friends. By the way, I want more people in here. Invite your friends, your grandma, your grandfather, everybody you know. Invite
Wait,
them
so
to
what do you want me to tell AR? AR is saying that he has to wait 10 minutes to do something.
Well, you can just wait 10 minutes. That's fine.
Okay.
Just join in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll pay Eats and Muse in the meantime, and then the
And we'll be generating the hype. This is like a core memory.
Yeah. By the way, right here, you record, right? So
I'm recording already.
Yeah, don't display.
Wait, I'm on TikTok Live Studios right now.
Okay, Sully, invite all your friends. Hiwa, invite everybody from Clubhouse.
I did.
Omar Lighthouse, invite all the Muslims. Christians, invite all the Protestants, the Eastern Orthodox, the Coptic Orthodox. Invite everybody on the internet. I want them invited here.
Hey, YouTube out there, right here, right now, likes to record these.
I'm even sending an email link to EA Graham Uppy right now, so he can come watch the debate as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah. What is you included in that email?
Well, it's being streamed on
Yo.
YouTube, and Malpass is in the chat.
Yeah. Invite Malpass as well. Invite Jack, Malpass, invite everybody. Cora.
Yeah, someone invite
Malpass is in the
Hoppy.
YouTube chat.
Muslim
Just say
Orthodox.
invite.
Get
Somebody
Seamus
call
in
Alex
here.
O'Connor. Please, somebody call Alex O'Connor. Get in here.
Just invite anybody you know that's
Wait, I'll
alive.
get-
Invite them. Anybody you know.
Hang on,
invite
I'll
them.
Let's get
Okay.
Arianas in here.
Hang on, I'll get Joe Schmidt. Hang on one sec.
Get Joe
Yeah.
Smith as well.
I'll
You'll
go
get
up Matt
Joe Smith.
Adelstein. I'll get Adelstein in here.
Yeah.
This Joe Schmidt.
I'm gonna DM Ask Yourself and Dr. Avi, get them in here.
Get them in
You're
here.
gonna get AY. I don't think AY is gonna join, dude.
Yeah, Adam, send me your Revolut when you're done. I'll send it to
I'm gonna
you.
get
I
Hyde
already
and
joined.
Lucario in here.
Oh, come on.
All right.
Wait, what is AR? AR was talking all that smack for like 1 hour. Where is he?
Wait, I just
you
said
said-
like it said he had to wait like 10
Yo,
minutes.
Venus, do you have dementia, bro?
Here, wait. Someone get Godless
He's
Girl
losing it.
and let
He's Venus
someone
Willis,
get
bro.
Godless Girl.
Logicat, invite all reverse Dewa in here. And Tanaz as well.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
Monkey boy, are you there?
Yeah.
How do I change that my microphone on TikTok Live Studios? Like where I go?
The microphone settings should be at the bottom.
Yeah, but it just
Wait,
says
is
mute, and mute microphones. Like what other button? Is there like a three dots? The three dots? Is
Yeah,
supposed to click?
it should be that.
Wait, it's saying it just said he can't join. Like he can't join the
That's
server at
gross.
all.
That's false.
Look,
What?
like 70 people who weren't in here 10 minutes ago are in here now. So the
By
skill
the way,
issue.
there is a problem.
Yeah.
Venmo being operational in international seas because I'm not in the United States right now. So can we do like PayPal or Revolut? Yeah,
It's a Muse. Fix PayPal or Revolut because we're not in America. Do you have
yeah,
to
we're not in
actually-
America.
Oh yeah, they're foreign. I
Oh,
forgot.
monkey boy. I'm sharing my screen. I want you to show me like where am I supposed to go?
How about like think of it this way: instead of getting
Just
paid to
use
debate,
someone
you're
as
getting
escrow.
paid.
Just
Can we
PayPal
do
someone who
PayPal
has
even-
Venmo who's in the US. Easy peasy.
PayPal, Ethan.
Okay.
It's the bottom. Yeah, right there. That.
This?
And then you could put
I
add
got
mic or whatever.
Sorry, who's the person Ethan is debating?
AR.
He's like the best of all the best TikTok atheists. AR 13, AR 1113.
So,
He's phenomenal.
it's a big claim.
Not angry. If Venus is the one who said this, like Ethan, you're okay, right? Like,
Yeah, no, it's just annoying.
you're annoyed?
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't tell me what you wanted me to do until I showed up. You told me I was gonna do something else.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you tell him?
I mean, I don't really care, but it was just weird that you didn't tell. Like, you're like, oh, come have a conversation with Venus, and then it's like, here's a random person you've never heard of in your life.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That was that angry.
Wait, but you don't mind debating this person, right?
No, I'll talk to anybody for $40.
Okay,
Hello?
good. Actually, we gotta make it. Actually, we gotta make it $45 just so you don't get annoyed.
Jesus Christ, Adam.
I'm adding the 2.5 and I.
Wow, what a $5 tip. That's crazy.
Let's go.
Okay, Ethan, did you fix the PayPal or Revolut so like Adam can send you the money?
Yeah, I think I have PayPal here.
Yeah. Adam, when you send him the money, tell me so I'll send you the $22.5.
Is there even a point for me to stream this on TikTok? I felt like that was even here. Probably all on.
Yeah, but where is AR? Where is AR though? He was like talking all this stuff. Where is he?
Well, so when I DM'd him, he said that it said he can't join and can't do anything for 10 minutes. Both of which sound like contradictory statements. Wait, what'd you say?
He said
Nice.
tell 7 minutes ago he DM'd me. He said, tell Monkey Boy to send me the link. I don't know why I can't join it.
Wait, Monkey Boy, make like an announcement in the server. Eat Muse versus AR.
He already did.
Yeah, I already did.
Monkey
that.
Boy,
Bro, get AR here first.
The links are open. I don't have them added. I don't think.
Yeah, Monkey Boy, stream this to YouTube, by the way, Monkey Boy.
Already doing that.
Okay, good.
You said he already gooned that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already gooning.
Look.
Yo, Penson, why are you asking
This is what I sent AR.
AR literally can make a new account.
Oh, also, if you're making a YouTube stream, can you just put like eMuse rather than my full name, Ethan Muse?
Yeah, just put eMuse instead. Yeah.
Is Monkey Boy?
Okay, AR said 1 minute. Oh,
nah, I'm right here. I'm right here. What the fuck? I'm right here.
Okay, let's go.
Bro, where
okay,
were you, bro?
Okay, fine. Okay, now everybody's here.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah. Everybody mute up except for Detroyer. He's the mod. Everybody be muted up. Right here, you're recording.
I'm just a judge.
I'm recording already. Yeah, I'm recording.
Don't tell me what to do.
Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on.
Wait, Monkey Boy, do you have a rec bot?
I think so.
Wait, why do you guys don't do this on stage?
I mean,
Just
I'm
make a stage.
recording this already. Right? Because
yeah, but no one wants to watch the YouTube video.
MB,
why
don't you move this?
Yeah, but no one's gonna watch that though.
Okay, good. One second,
there's
actually.
40 or 30 people watching.
Hold on. Detroit, you're the judge. Pensive, can you just be the mod if one overtalks the other? You just tell them calm down or something. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody mute up. Let the debate begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Wait, we're not going to stage?
No, we don't need stage. That's forbidden.
No, we're not getting stage. We're going here. Okay, go ahead. Muse, do you want to open up, or AR, do you want to open up? Just begin.
Yeah, I just kind of want to like ask him like, does he know like what we're arguing about? What is the topic?
I was just told you wanted to talk about fine tuning.
Yeah, it's fine tuning given like Bayes theorem, Bayesian analysis, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your argument
what
for
do you
God?
want?
Yeah, what's your argument for God?
Wait, I thought you were the one you had a specific topic you wanted to talk about. Like, do you have an objection to the fine tuning argument that you want to discuss?
I want to see what you lay. How do you assign prior, like the whole spiel of the argument?
Okay, well, there's lots of different fine-tuning arguments that we could talk
I'm talking
about. So
about
which do you
Bayes.
want to
I'm
talk
talking about
about?
given Bayes theorem, using some
Yeah,
Bayes theorem. Yeah,
Bayesian reasoning is just a way of reasoning. It's not an
I
argument.
understand. I understand that. I'm saying using Bayes theorem, give your argument for fine tuning. To give your argument
Okay.
for why God exists.
Well, I mean, so I can just give an example of an argument that is Bayesian and that invokes fine-tuning. So it's just okay.
No, well, it's gonna be the fine tuning argument for God, right? So you're just gonna
Yeah, but there's lots of
give,
different fine-tuning
okay,
arguments that you could
yeah,
give.
I got you. So yeah, I want you to motivate the probability.
Like we could talk about like the fine-tuning of the cosmological constant. Like, what do you want to talk about? Like,
yeah, that's fine. The
cosmological
cosmological constant
astrophysical
is fine.
fine-tuning,
I'm talking
cosmological
about.
fine-tuning.
I want you to
evolutionary
motivate.
fine-tuning.
I want you to motivate God. You can go any way you want with it. Like, given the constants that we have of the universe, how do you get to God being more likely the case? How do you get to the conclusion that God is more likely than naturalism or atheism or whatever the fuck, or not God? The probability of not God.
Well, the
let's say for example, let's say I want you to motivate the probability of God, given life or given a life permitting universe, being greater than the probability of not God, given a life permitting universe. That's what I want you to motivate.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, so first, I mean, if that's the conclusion that we want, then we probably don't even need like scientific premises to motivate that. So we can just say it seems like, the hypothesis of bare naturalism is indifferent towards whether you have life permitting conditions or whether you don't, right? Then we can try to find a way of partitioning the space of bare naturalistic possibilities to assign, specific priors or, conditional probabilities to the supposition of life permitting conditions. But then with theism, the hypothesis is not indifferent because it seems like life and the existence of, complex, conscious creatures that can interact with each other has a positive moral valence. And since theism is positing that there's a good creator God who's motivated to promote moral value, it therefore assigns, basically like a preference to universes that have life permitting conditions over those where basically things that aren't as complex or morally interesting occur. So therefore, even starting out there, we've yet to quantify it. So to understand the exact degree of evidential force, but just it seems like the thing you just asked me to motivate is pretty trivial, which is just theism. There's a reason internal to the theory to think that worlds that are life permitting would be preferred. Whereas with naturalism, there's no reason internal to the theory to think that they would be preferred.
All right, let's start out with first bare theism. Do you believe that bare theism has any bias towards life?
Well, it depends on what you mean by bare theism, but yes,
I just
if
mean
you're
God's
understanding,
I'm talking about God's stripped of all his properties.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that is he God at that point? Like, what does it mean for him to have
I'm
no
just talking about
properties whatsoever?
an agent that can create.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously you need some assumptions about what agents are more likely to create.
We need some assumptions. Okay, great. So if we have God and we need some assumptions in order for him to create, that means we're tacking on properties onto God.
Well,
correct?
I don't think God is just an agent that creates. Like I'm an agent that
and
can make stuff.
That's
right?
my
I'm not a
definition
god.
of God. Okay,
You know what we're talking about.
let's lay this out real quick. Hold on. The definition of God that I'm having is just the creator to any universe, given some universe. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, that's clearly not the intuitive folk concept of God, because
That
obviously
is,
if you had a simulator who was just a finite creature who makes a mini universe, right? Like in Rick and Morty or whatever, like he's not a god.
Yeah, is it going to be God with my definition, correct?
Okay, sure, but it's just a terrible definition. Like I'm not interested in talking about that definition.
That's how I define God, bro. I define God as the creator to the universe.
So you have an idiosyncratic proprietary notion of God.
Idiosyncratic?
Just chill. Just let God get it out.
Hold on, are you saying that most people reject that God is the creator to the universe?
No, so people think that is a particular. I don't think that's sufficient to be God.
Okay, not sufficient, but that's bare theism, correct?
No, bare theism is more committal than that.
What do you think bare theism is besides like the fact that it's an agent?
Like for instance, to be a bare human, right? So positing a bare human involves more than just positing a living organism, even though humans are living organisms, right? So if you just said bare humanity is just being a living organism, that's obviously not true because it doesn't distinguish humans from other types of animals that are non-human.
What do you consider God? Let's just start there.
Okay, like an omnipotent, omniscient, creative intelligence that is the necessary ground of all being.
Okay, so if God had only middle knowledge or less than omniscience, right? Like just a little bit tad less smart than all knowing, that all of a sudden is not God.
Yeah, I mean, for me, infinity is part of my God concept. I'm happy to talk about a God concept that includes infinity.
You're telling me there are no, hold on, just to be clear, are you telling me there are no religions out there that posit that God has middle knowledge or isn't omniscient? That's just knowing enough?
So again, there's a notional term, God, and people can assign different definitions to that term, right?
This is the guy you told me to debate, guys. This is the guy that you told me that I'm scared of, bro. He's over here having idiosyncratic talk about this idiosyncratic, but he's telling me that God can't
Just
be.
chill with the over talking. Just chill with the over talking.
All right, go ahead. This is crazy.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
basically, there are God concepts. People have different God concepts. There's a very strict or rigid God concept that I might insist upon, where I'm going to insist on, divine simplicity, divine infinity, divine aseity as necessary conditions for deity, right? There are other, quasi-theistic conceptions that depart from that. So, for instance, they posit a finite creator, right?
Yeah.
So infinite in this context, in the philosophical meaning, that would just mean it has some kind of limit, right? And
that's
so
not God.
in the
not
strict,
God, you're saying.
According to the strict definition that I'm working with, it's not a God concept; it's a demiurge. But we could generalize the God concept to just consider, fewer properties as being essential to God. So it's just dialectically, what do we want to focus on? Do we want to focus on a very specific God concept?
Yeah, I'm just saying the creator to the universe. That's what I mean by God, bro. I don't know why
there's an intelligent creator of the universe. That's not what I mean by God, but it's fine. That's a more minimal.
I can give you a being that could actualize any universe.
Okay, like an intelligent cause that can actualize any universe is the definition you're working with?
Yeah, logically.
But you're excluding goodness or any kind of like psychology from the definition.
Yeah, like there could be an evil God.
Okay, sure. So you want to talk about, does fine-tuning provide us with evidence that there's an intelligent cause behind the universe?
Yeah, no, like again, right? Like you can assign properties to God. Like for example, you could say God with some property of goodness, and you could assign that property to God, but then you lower your priors when you do that.
Well, sure. Anytime you're going to make the concept more specific, you're going to lower the prior.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's trivial, but
yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now motivate.
Okay. So now what?
Okay. Now, how do you motivate a being who's just intelligent, who just creates, and how does that then mean that he's biased towards life?
Okay. Well, so there's a few ways we could reason about this. First is we could just do it inductively, right? So we can say, if in the universe that we can observe, intelligent causes tend to produce effects that have certain common properties, as distinct from, things that apparently lack an intelligent cause, right? They have certain properties that distinguish them from the effects of intelligent causes. Then we can ask the question, okay, the initial conditions of the universe, are they more characteristic of the effects that are produced by the intelligent causes that we observe within the universe? Or are they more characteristic of effects that are produced, randomly or spontaneously by natural processes that do not recommend themselves to us as intelligent?
Hold on, wait, you're smuggling something there. Look, when you say that there's like some God with some property that gives us bias towards life, we can do the same shit with the universe. We give the universe some property that gives it some bias towards life, some disposition towards life. Right? Like if you're gonna say you're gonna use that, I could just do the same shit. I could just do the same shit with the universe.
You didn't understand. So what I was saying was, okay, dude.
Go ahead.
So what I was saying is, we, in our day-to-day lives, observe intelligent causes and the types of effects that they produce. So for instance, we notice that when you have a sculpture that depicts a person, that tends to be produced by sculptors, right? So human intelligences, right? They are the ones that tend to produce effects like that. We notice that when we see things that are very rectilinear, right? So they meet at right angles and they have lots of straight lines and, you know, rectangles and squares. When we notice structures like that, we notice that those tend to be produced more by intelligent causes. Whereas, you know, very jagged or continuous, you know, or quote unquote random looking patterns tend to be the result
Define
of,
random.
you know, like, okay, why do we need to jump into define random when it's one? I can define it if you want. There are mathematical definitions of randomness, but it's not relevant to the point I'm making. It's just something offhand I'm saying.
Go ahead. I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So the very simple point I'm making here, I'm not even arguing for my conclusion yet about fine-tuning, is just we notice that the effects that are produced by intelligent causes in our universe have certain characteristics that allow us to infer that they had an intelligent cause. And archaeologists do this, right? Historians do this. We do this when we look at, you know, for instance, when we go look at a rock formation, we can tell whether that was an artifice, you know, whether there was artificial manipulation of the rock face, or whether if it's the sort of thing that was likely produced by weathering and erosion, you know, without human influence, without design or ingenuity. When we see something that has a lot of semantic content, so it conveys semantic meaning, that conveys to us that there was an intelligent cause behind it, etc. So then, just the question that we're now asking is that when we look at the initial conditions of the universe, do they have properties that are more characteristic of effects that are produced by intelligent causes in our everyday experience? Or do they have properties that are more characteristic of natural processes, involuntary, undirected processes? So do we agree with that as a framework?
So hold on. How do you distinguish between something that's designed versus not designed? Can you pick out something that's not designed according to your worldview?
Well, so sure, we can look at, so for instance, when I have a, like go to random.org, right? And then I generate a string of numbers just by repeatedly pressing generate on random.org, right? So I create the string and it's like 1231, comma, 8435, comma, right? So when I see that sequence of characters that's very high entropy, I say, okay, that looks random. That doesn't look like it's designed. It doesn't look like an artifice. Now, meanwhile, when I see, you know, complex structured information in a string, that's already more characteristic of artifice.
Question begging. Hold on. So, like when you look at DNA, are you saying that DNA is designed just because you think that because it's complex and it's not random, therefore it must be designed, or inductively it must be designed because we only have like some sort of like so we see, like, for example, sculptures and we see all these things that were designed by human, therefore it must be the case, like, for example, DNA must be designed because we also see organization in DNA?
Well, again, it doesn't follow that it must be the case because we're making an inductive argument. Right?
Yeah. I'm just saying
we're saying are the properties of this string or of this, you know, pattern that we're observing in the world, is it the pattern that is more commonly associated in our everyday experience when we can verify what the cause is with a random process, a natural process that's some combination of randomness and, you know, structured regularity, or sorry?
That's begging the question, bro. Look. We only could compartmentalize, right? Either we know that things are designed, or we don't know whether or not it's designed, right? You're gonna put it in the bucket of things that we don't know whether or not it's designed. You can't definitively know, right? Based on what you're saying, right? We can't definitively know that DNA wasn't designed, but we're just gonna assume. I can give examples of things that. I can give a plethora of examples that things that don't require some designer, but you're gonna say, oh, it was designed by God, so therefore it must have been designed, right? But I could come up with a plethora of things that look organized and stuff, but doesn't seem to have an apparent designer. But you just want to say that's God.
So again, so you need to understand.
Question begging.
So it's. I don't think you understand what question begging is. But
yeah, it is. You're assuming the premise and the conclusion. You're assuming the conclusion and the premises.
Okay, what is it? How am I assuming my conclusion in my argument?
So all right. So if I say is DNA designed, you're gonna say what?
How is that relevant to my argument?
Because you're saying that something like complex and organized must be designed, but that's not what.
I never said that it must be designed.
Okay, sorry.
When did I say that?
Inductively, it's likely to be designed inductively, right? That's what you're saying, correct?
So randomness produces unstructured information with much higher frequency. Meanwhile, intelligent causes produce highly structured information with high frequency. So randomness produces highly structured information with low frequency. Intelligence produces highly structured information with high frequency. Now, it does not follow that if you have highly structured information, that therefore necessarily it must have an intelligent cause, right? That's not how inductive
but I'm just saying the pool of things that are designed are going to be smaller. The pool of things. Hold on, because you're trying to say it's highly more likely. Hold on, you're trying to say it's highly more likely.
Sorry. So, for instance, I can say that most dead bodies that have bullet holes in them, the cause of death was that they were shot, right? That literally they were killed by the gunshot. Now, does that mean that never in history was a person who died of a heart attack shot after they had already died of natural causes? No, it doesn't mean that, right? But it's an inductive argument. I'm saying there's a statistical association between these two that supports an inference.
Yeah, again, right? You're literally saying that there's more things that you can observe that if they are structured, they're more likely to have been designed. And I think that's unjustified. And I'm explaining why that's unjustified. There are a plethora of things that could come up with in nature that have like these structures that you see that humans make, that aren't designed by humans.
Well, so first of all, so here's a few things that we need to keep in mind here. So first, the fact that an unintelligent cause can produce a certain kind of effect does not mean that an unintelligent cause is equally likely to produce that effect as an intelligent cause, or that the effect is more characteristic or equally characteristic of intelligent and unintelligent causation. So it's just a non sequitur to say, I can find examples of structured information that are produced by non-intelligent causes, so therefore intelligent causes aren't more likely as the explanation for certain kinds of structured information. The second problem, please allow me to finish, okay? You're the one who wanted to have this conversation. So the second thing, and if you don't care what I have to say, that's fine, I can leave. You know, I'm making my money anyways, right? But so the second thing is that the amount, basically you're not taking into account that there are gradations in the amount of structure, as well as qualitative differences in the kinds of structure that are produced by, and let's consider these three alternatives, an intelligent cause or an agentic cause, right? A natural cause, which is a combination of structured law-like regularities and random patterned variation, right? Natural cause. Meanwhile, part of what's in dispute is whether natural causation is a form of intelligent causation or unintelligent causation. And then things that we know can be attributed to randomness. So for instance, when we create computer simulations where we generate noise, and then we see the structures that can be produced by noise and the frequency with which they can be produced by noise. So we've noticed three mechanistic explanations that we could give. A natural explanation, which we don't know is non-agentic versus agentic, or pure randomness.
Yeah, so again, right, so when we're talking about like things that are designed, right, so the things that I see that are different about something that's designed versus something that's not designed. I mean, obviously, like somebody who's designed things, like for example, a painter could splash paint on a canvas, and that was designed, yet seemingly random. Or things that are seemingly random yet complex could have still been designed, right? So a designer could have motivation to create any type of sort of design that wouldn't be seemingly complex or organized in such a way that you could pick it out, right? So again, like given that we have like an agent that's intelligent, it doesn't tell us whether or not that agent would even create a universe specifically like this. The agent could have made any type of universe. When it comes to design specifically, we see efficiency in design, right? We see efficiency. The universe doesn't pick that out any way, shape, or form. We don't see any efficiency in the universe, right? We see a bunch of planets. We see trillions, 10 octillion planets in the universe, and less than a fraction of a percent of them are habitable. How does that show us that there's a designer for that? for example. And we're not even getting to the math of the Bayesian analysis, because I can give you some property of God, and that property of God can guarantee a life-permitting universe, but the priors are going to be lower, low enough that it doesn't make up for the fact that given life, that that it's likelier to have been from an agent.
Okay, so the first comment that you made, the first comment that you made committed the same fallacy that I had already accused you of before, which is just that all you're saying is, look, I can give you examples, right, of certain effects that are more characteristic of intelligent causes, but that nonetheless can be produced by putatively unintelligent causes. And so that doesn't defeat my claim about so please do not interrupt me. That does not defeat my claim about a statistical association between intelligent causes and certain characteristic types of effects. So it's just completely a non sequitur. It's irrelevant it's irrelevant as an objection. Then the second, and you also just assume this sort of false dichotomy where it's like something is either entirely an intelligent cause with no contingency or randomness, or it's absolutely, an intelligent, or it's absolutely random or unintelligent at least, which is also just a completely false dichotomy. So, like we can have agentic direction.
It's either random or not random. That's a true dichotomy, right?
No, it's not, because randomness is graded.
Random and not random, is that a true dichotomy?
Randomness is a graded concept. You're random to a greater or lesser
So you're talking
degree.
about gradient concept. Okay, gotcha.
Wait,
Yeah,
randomness
is just gonna be randomness is just gonna be some sort of probability, right? So that some outcome would come about. So even if something is like 99% the case, that would be something that's considered a random variable, right?
Well, so no, so there's different notions of. I'm dealing with a notion of randomness that is used in basically information theory, and we can actually think of it as an intrinsic property of a string, which is basically the incompressibility of the string. Okay.
This is why I asked you for the definition of random in the beginning. But all right, go ahead.
No, I know, because you made the conversation more about it than it was at that time. So if you want to focus on that, that's fine. So there's something called measure theoretic randomness. Have you ever heard of that?
No. What's measure theoretic randomness?
Right. So basically, there's the certain type. There's basically a very strong formal definition of randomness that we can give for infinite sequences, where we can see that there's basically, we define it based off of whether you can have a statistical test that can distinguish the string from a random string, right? So basically, if you have a small exceptional set, which is assigned measure 0, according to some probability measure, then basically you determine via statistical test whether you can exclude the string from one of those sets. So if you're basically, you have a random sequence if you avoid all the measure 0 sets in that very strong definition of randomness. Now, meanwhile, we can use basically the Kolmogorov complexity to create a fair coin measure to then assign a measure based off of the intrinsic properties of the string, rather than just having to assume extrinsically some probability measure over strings.
Okay, go ahead. I'm trying to understand how you're assigning the probabilities. What probability you're assigning, like, for example, the probability of God-given life?
Well, so what are you talking about? So I'm obviously not going to give you a quantitative probability.
No, just give me like greater than or less than a certain value. Like, how are you assigning these probabilities? How are you assigning that the probability of God-given life versus like the probability of not God-given life?
So again, what I was just talking about, so the form of argument, the design argument from fine-tuning that we're making right now, is beginning with the premise that there's a statistical association, right? Or basically a statistical association that supports an inductive inference from certain types of effects to intelligent causes, right? Then I'm saying, so one of the things that we can look for is the structured, basically the degree of structure that exists within a set of information, right?
Yeah,
and
but
so
the structure, why are you saying that the structure has to have been designed? That's the problem, right?
Because I'm not saying it has to. So you keep saying has to have been designed. again,
Okay,
I'm
no.
not saying that.
Sorry.
I'm saying
More
that,
likely design. Okay, I understand. More likely.
so notice.
Look,
So here's the thing.
I understand. Hold on. I'm gonna correct it. I'm gonna correct it.
Chill with the
I was talking
interruption.
first. He interrupted me. Look, all right. I was saying that yes, you're saying that something that seemingly is designed could have been. It seems as though, like, if we inductively look at, like, for example, humans, they make like statues, and we see like right angles and all these other shit, right? And you're trying to say that inductively, when we look at the universe also has like some certain properties that seemingly points to design. More likely points to design, right? That's the correction I'm going to make here. All right, is that the correction that you want me to make?
Well, so right now, what I want to clarify is, do you think this argument is a good argument in principle? So we've observed.
No.
Wait, I haven't given you the argument yet.
Oh, okay, good.
So we've observed in the universe that when we have living organisms, those living organisms tend to have respiratory systems. Okay, so given that you observe, like for instance, let's say you go out and observe a large mammal, you can assume with very high confidence that it has a respiratory system, right?
Yeah.
Now, do I need to assert that therefore it is impossible to ever find an example of a living organism that doesn't have a respiratory system in order to then say...
I understand how probability works, bro.
So the point is, we go and observe. We don't deduce it a priori from the concept, right? Instead, what we do is we go observe statistical associations between properties and mechanistic explanations for those properties.
Yeah, you're saying that there's some property of God that makes it more likely for these things to have occurred. But now the issue is
No. I'm saying the opposite of that.
You're not saying that there's a property that God has that makes.
I'm saying so again. So first, you have made it to where we're not talking about God really. We're just talking about intelligent cause, which is fine. So, but I just using the term God is going to be confusing going forward because so we're talking about an intelligent agent, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm saying, within the universe, we can observe a statistical association between when an intelligent agent is the mechanistic explanation for an effect and certain properties of that effect. And so, for instance, what we don't observe is on random rock faces due to weathering patterns of information that resemble the Mona Lisa, right? But meanwhile, when intelligent causes actually paint something or engineer an artifice, right, they produce things that look like the Mona Lisa. So there's some kind of qualitative or quantitative properties of that pattern of information that are robustly associated with intelligent causation as opposed to non-intelligent causation. Now, this is not saying that it's a priori it follows from the very notion of intelligent cause that it will produce Mona Lisas rather than, random dispersion of rocks. It's not saying that that's like analytic. It's just saying that inductively there is an association in our, common experience.
Yeah, because we can see that that's something that's depicting a human, obviously. But what I'm saying, though, right, like, again, we could have like some sort of disposition. The universe may have exactly the same property. We could literally, whatever property you assign God that would give God some propensity to create such design, we can give that universe the same properties. I could walk you along all the way.
I'm sorry, but you're being, again, you're doing the same fallacy as before. Right?
No, it's not.
No,
It's a disposition. I'm saying that the universe could have a disposition.
Please.
Just calm down, Edward. Just calm down, anyway. Just let him talk.
I'm just telling you that you could stalking horse the shit out of this fucking argument, bro. But go ahead, keep going.
So that's a big problem with stalking horse objections to this style of argument, because it's going for. So there's one type of argument, which is what we started out originally when I was working with a more robust God concept, which is that we deduce from the concept a certain propensity to produce an effect. Now there's a different type of argument. So that would be a more a priori type of demonstration that there's a greater conditional probability. Then there's an a posteriori demonstration, which is we're not looking analytically this type of posit. It just follows from understanding what that posit is that it's necessarily more likely to produce this type of effect. That's not the style of reasoning that we're doing. We're doing an inductive form of reasoning where we're saying, in fact, we've observed that there's an association between this type of effect and this mechanism. So we can say that, for instance, when there's precipitation, that tends to be caused by clouds, okay? So it tends to trace back mechanistically to clouds. Now, it doesn't necessarily follow from the concept of precipitation, nor even from the concept of clouds, without a whole bunch of extrinsic supplementation, that there is going to be that association. But we can still make the argument based off of the inductive association between those two. So it's not based off of the concept. So you could create a stalking horse called a shroud that's a parallel to a cloud that's not technically a cloud that can also precipitate. But the problem is that there's no inductive association between shrouds and precipitation in the world that we've observed. And there is between clouds and precipitation. So the stalking horse argument doesn't work against
your thing is less likely
reasoning.
Yeah, but your thing is less likely given some sort of probability. But let's actually tackle that right now, okay? Let's say, for example, how often does somebody win the lottery?
Very infrequently.
No, every day there's somebody that wins the lottery.
A given person very infrequently wins the lottery.
No, I'm saying how often does anyone win the lottery, bro?
Sure, with high frequency, somebody wins
every day, correct?
I don't know that there is a lottery every day, but I'll take your word for it.
Across the world, there's a lottery every day, bro.
Sure.
Okay, great. Every day is the winner, correct?
Sure. Oh, I've already said sure.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so and the probability is pretty low, correct?
What do you mean the probability that somebody will win
the lottery? The probability of any one given person winning the lottery is extremely
low. The probability of somebody winning is extremely high. The probability of any particular person winning is low.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. But the reason why we expect, or we observe that there's a winner every day is because the trials match the odds, correct?
The trials match the odds? What?
Yeah, like if you have the odds of 1 in a million of a lottery to win for a lottery winner to come about, like, is 1 in a million, right? And if we have 1 million trials, it's expected that one would win, correct?
Oh, it depends on the design of the lottery.
I said it's expected. I'm talking about expectations.
No, I know, I'm just saying it depends on the design of the lottery, but sure. The way most lotteries are set up, that's definitely true.
Okay, great. So if we have some expectation of 1 in a million, given 1 million trials, you have one. It's expected that one will win. Now, given you would say like having life is about 1 in 10 octillion, let's say, okay? But we observe that there's 10 octillion planets out in the universe. So given just the probability alone, even if it's a low probability, it's expected almost near 1. Given the vast amounts of planets there are. How many planets are there in the universe?
It's very hard to quantify.
Yeah.
I mean, the universe could be infinite, in which case it would probably be.
So if the universe were infinite, there would be an infinite amount of planets, correct?
That doesn't follow logically, but sure.
It doesn't follow logically. Okay, great. So
you could have an infinite universe that was completely empty. So
empty. Yeah, it could be empty, whatever the case is. Great. But based on what we observed, though, it seems as though that if the universe were to follow the same inductive logic that we see, which means that we always see some planet. We always see any two planets a certain amount of light years distance away on average. And we keep continuing that average inductively, we would assume that there's an infinite amount of planets inductively, right? If there's an infinite amount of universe, correct?
I mean, I don't see the relevance of this.
Oh, you don't see the okay. So it seems as though that even on random,
like if you just want to stipulate, so what we could say is that given an infinite number of planets, right?
Yeah.
That it's totally possible that on some very small fraction of planets, there would be the Mona Lisa etched into a rock face, right? However, that doesn't tell us much about, given that we observe a particular Mona Lisa, is it more likely due to random chance and then sampling from a huge number of trials? Or is it more likely due to an intelligent cause in the particular case?
Well, that's
So
different because that's different because the Mona Lisa has high energy barriers, right? Like if we're talking about biological life and we're talking about naturalistic life, those things have low energy barriers compared to.
Well, I'm not talking about energy barriers. So really, it would just be patterns of
biochemical.
it would be, I mean, it would just be patterns of erosion and weathering, and they're just very unlikely randomly to produce something that's that structured.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa specifically. Yeah, but
Now,
life.
you could say anytime you saw the Mona Lisa etched into a rock face, you could say, well, perhaps it was caused by some random weathering and erosion and stuff like that. Perhaps it was caused by that just because there were so many trials, even though that's vanishingly unlikely. But we need to compare the plausibility of that theory to the theory that this particular instance was caused by an intelligent cause.
Yeah. Again, you're talking about the Mona Lisa, which is something that we know is constructed by a human. But we're talking about, like, for example, life.
No. But I'm just saying, if you look at an image like that, so you could imagine you had like a Rembrandt.
Because we observe that. Obviously, that's gonna be more likely because we observe those things being done by humans.
I'm saying put that in
that's
the
not
background.
The same thing.
No. So there's things we observe. There's things we observe intelligent causes to do. There are things we observe random causes to do. Obviously, we reason from the things we see intelligent causes do. We reason from that to the statistical association between intelligent causation and certain effects.
Yeah, I'm saying that, like, when we're talking about life and we're seeing that the vast majority of planets don't have life, and we have one planet with life, and it fits the odds of that happening by chance, then it fits the naturalistic hypothesis better than it does God, because God, better than an intelligent cause, because an intelligent cause we would expect efficiency more so than some sort of random event that can be inevitable.
Oh, well, so here's a few things that we need to do then, right? So the first is we need to consider, so when we're considering the total universe, right?
Yeah.
So we're considering the initial conditions of the universe. The first thing we need to say is, okay, should we see there as being lots of trials, right, within a naturalistic worldview? So are we committed to believing that there are lots of trials within a naturalistic worldview? And so then we say, okay, of the multiverse, some region of the multiverse, right?
I'm not even saying that.
Well,
go ahead.
But I'm saying that's how you're actually going to get sampling. So what you need is there to be a sampling rate that's high for naturalism to accommodate the observed data for the initial conditions being highly structured.
No, I'm just talking about specifically. When you talk about the initial conditions, you're saying that the initial conditions.
Well, no, so fine tuning is about that. So here's what we're talking about. So the first thing that I'm saying is there are certain properties that through our inductive experience we know are associated with intelligent causation. Then we say the initial conditions of the universe have those properties that are more associated with intelligent causation. Now, a naturalist can try to accommodate that, right? They can accommodate it by saying, oh, well, no, but we could also get the similar properties as those through sampling from if we had a very high sampling rate and we had lots of trials, right? Now, the way you're going to do that is you're going to have some kind of ensemble where different initial conditions are realized, right? So therefore, your sampling rate could be high.
Yeah, again, right. Like when we're talking about the universe may have had like this property, like the propensity for these things to come about. Maybe that's unlikely to you, right? Like the propensity of the universe to do this is unlikely. Is that what you're saying is unlikely?
No, what I'm saying is, so if we're viewing it this way, so I think you just need to understand the structure of the argument that I'm making. Okay?
Yeah.
So the first is there are certain criteria, like complex structured information, that we can use to say, hey, there's a statistical association between complex structured information and intelligent causation. Then we say the initial conditions.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, if you don't agree that there's a statistical association between those two, then we need to debate that.
Yeah, I don't agree. Yeah, because like again, right? There's so much. Like you agree that the most complex things are the things that are in question, correct?
What?
The most complex things in the world are the things that are in question about whether or not they're designed.
Like is there a question? Is there a question as to whether, like, the Large Hadron Collider is designed or not?
Well, obviously the Large Hadron Collider is designed. They have
high energy. Is there a question as to whether ChatGPT is designed or not?
Those aren't the most complex things that we have in the world, though.
Okay, you're talking about like the human brain?
I'm talking about like the brain. I'm talking about the DNA. I'm talking about all of this.
So that's a disputed point. So we have
That's
to go
what I'm
from
saying.
the
That's the things that these are the things that are in question.
Well, no, so
exactly.
we can see
you're blending,
in
you're
our
kind
ordinary experience, right? We see that when we see complex structured information, we are inclined to infer intelligence, and this is in a variety of different fields. This is done.
Wait. Why
this is done, for instance, by search for extraterrestrial intelligence. It's done by archaeologists. It's so we use criteria to distinguish intelligent causation from unintelligent causation that invoke CSI.
Only if they're in contrast to what we find in nature.
Well, no, we notice the reason why we use those criteria. The reason why we use those criteria is because we've noticed that natural causation doesn't produce. If the CSI is high enough, it never produces, or if the CSI is moderate, then it very seldom produces patterns of information that have high CSI.
Define CSI.
We talked about this. It's complex structured information. Okay, do you want to go into?
No, because I did. Yeah, complex. Yeah, I got you. All right, so when we're talking about complex structured information, you're saying that based on, like, for example, the DNA. When you're saying that when archaeologists look at the DNA, oh yeah, that was designed. That's what you're saying.
No, obviously DNA is what's in question.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so
but archaeologists, when they go and find.
My question is this. From a scale of 1 to 10, how complex is like a statue in comparison to something in nature?
Well, in comparison to in comparison to comparable natural objects. So, for instance, let's say like rock faces, right?
No. Don't do that. No. I'm saying, like, if you take all of the things that we have designed, and you take all of the things that are in nature, okay, on average, right? Which ones will be more complex? Sorry, in biological nature.
Well, no, so you seem to be misunderstanding something. So there's things where we have an unknown mechanistic cause behind them, or disputed.
Yeah. That's the thing in question. Those are the things.
What we're trying to do is to settle based on the cases where we have known mechanistic causes, either observationally or theoretically, right? Where we have known mechanistic causes to infer whether or not there's an intelligent cause behind the disputed cases, right? So, for instance, when you take something like the laws and initial conditions of the universe, when you take things like the formation of animal body plans, right, abiogenesis, etc. These are cases where I'm going to argue that these are best explained by intelligent causation, so therefore they're disputed cases. So then we need to look towards, basically, first is we can see simulations to estimate probability measures for the probability of certain types of structure forming randomly, right? Or given sort of minimal structural constraints. And then secondarily, we can look for things that just intuitively recommend themselves to us as being unintelligent in their causal origins. And so we compare those two reference classes to each other and then determine whether there is a statistical association.
Yeah, so again, right? Like when we're saying like something is designed, where we're looking at like a statue, we're seeing that those are designed based on the fact that they represent, like if it's a statue, they represent something that we have observed, and it seems as though it seems to mimic that thing that we have observed before. All right, and it seems as though it was designed because it's made out of like the marble, right? But those things that you see that are designed, those things are, how do I explain it to you? Like, they have high energy barriers, all right, in biochemistry. Okay, those things are very unlikely to have been done naturalistically. But in nature, biochemistry and biology and life itself comes very easy.
Well, so notice there's something in. So obviously, for any particular string, right, of information, so we could just encode any observation we make as a string of bits, right? So for any particular string, so any possible observation that we could make, if we specify it fully, it's going to have measure 0, right? No matter what the string is. So in a certain sense, any particular string would be equally unlikely considered from that perspective.
Yeah.
But we notice there are certain types of strings. So for instance, a string of all zeros compared to a randomly generated string, right? We were going to say, okay, this seems like it's more of the type of thing that an intelligent cause would produce. This is characteristic of intelligence compared to randomness, right? So if it turned out that intelligence and randomness were indifferent over CSI, we wouldn't have intuitively impeccable inferences from the high CSI content to preferring an intelligent explanation.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's random either, right? I'm saying that there's some that there's some disposition that the universe has for these things to come about. There's a tendency there. It's not just random. That's what you're not understanding. I think you're trying to say that the naturalism doesn't have to hold to everything being random. Like this is just it's a straw man. Like
no,
what
but
I'm
that's not
saying.
What I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if we look at CSI, we can say there's a statistical association between CSI content and intelligent causation, in that if we were just looking at any particular observation and we discovered that it had high CSI, there's an intuitively impeccable inference that we're going to increase our credence in an intelligent cause based off of just learning the CSI content is high.
No, look, all right, not when it comes to nature. Like what you're talking about, when we're seeing like some things that could happen that's very likely to occur, and the reason why they're very likely to occur is because it's to the odds again match the trials, and it's expected, and it seems as though, like for example, okay, I got a good example. Do you know about beta distributions?
No.
Okay, I'll explain beta distributions to you. Like, say for example, we have an unfair coin, and we get like 3 heads and 7 tails. Okay, and someone posits that, all right, based on the 3 heads and 7 tails, it seems as though that heads has like it's weighted unevenly towards the tail side. 70% of the weight is towards the tail, and 30% is towards the head. But like, right? But we only did 10 trials there, and then let's say somebody flips another coin and flips it 700 times, okay, and then 1,000 times, and they see that tails pops up 700 times and heads pops up 300 times. We can make the inference that given either coin, it's more likely that the second coin has that weighted distribution of 70-30 over the coin that we only did 10 trials on, which could have happened by chance or deviation, that could make it so that it has a different weighted distribution of like 40-60 or even 35-65. So it's expected, right, that when we see these random events and we see a 700-300 split, that matches up with a coin that has a 30-70 weighted distribution. The same way we see like this planet that has life on it, but we see 10 octillion planets, it's more likely the case that life, being 1 in 10 octillion chance of occurring, it's expected, given some random variable, that the universe has like this disposition such that it would come out this way, rather than like God, who can guarantee life across all possible planets.
Well, so you're assuming that God would be more likely to create a universe where life was abundant or life was dense compared to a universe where life was sparse. I think that's an unmotivated assumption, but I also think that any plausible naturalistic theory for having a high theory is going to make a prediction that there was a much higher density than the observed density. And I actually think that the theistic hypothesis can accommodate sparsity better than the naturalistic hypothesis can accommodate sparsity. But regardless, that doesn't get to the point of principle, which is what was in dispute before we moved on to the next premise of the argument, because you keep disputing the first premise, so we don't move on to the next premises where we could raise questions like this pertinently. So the thing that we're questioning right now is just whether there is a statistical association where given that CSI content is high, the conditional probability of an intelligent cause is greater.
No, again, I'm keep telling you no, and I'm telling you why it's no.
No, I know.
I
was just framing the debate. I'm saying the second thing we're talking about now is, given that CSI content is high, should we update in favor of intelligent causation? So therefore, the best way to do this would be to say, let's look for patterns in the effects that are produced by intelligent causes, and let's see whether, given just a bare so for instance, one type of effect that's non-intelligent causation would be just sheer randomness, right? So it seems like we're both agreeing that high CSI favors intelligent causation over randomness. Now, it doesn't necessarily favor it over all non-intelligent mechanisms, right? Because you could have non-intelligent
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm agreeing. So notice, if I notice that a person got into an argument with their spouse the day before, right, that they died, that's going to raise the probability that their spouse killed them. Even though there are alternative theories, they might also be more likely to kill themselves when they got into an argument with their spouse the day before, right? So that's evidence that favors both of them, because there's a positive statistical association with both relative to the null, that you don't observe the data. So to say there's a statistical association between CSI and intelligent causation doesn't imply that there are non-intelligent mechanisms that are also more likely given CSI. It just says that over the null, you're going to favor intelligent causation when you learn that an effect has a high CSI.
No, but you're overshooting.
It doesn't mean that you're going to think the intelligent cause is more likely than not. It just means that your confidence in intelligent cause is going to increase.
No, I'm saying that you're overshooting it, because, like, let's say, like, for example, we have in the Seven Tails. God or the intelligent designer would be like saying that, oh yeah, the three heads and the seven tails must have come from a double-headed coin, right? Or something similar to that effect, like 90% weighted on heads and 10% weighted on tails, or rather 90% weighted on tails and 10% weighted on heads. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, it's more likely the case that it's just a coin that's weighted 70% and 70% tails and 30% heads, because that's what the data shows, right? So if it were intelligently designed, we would expect more efficiency.
No. You're equivocating. So
no, we're equivocating.
No. Just focus. So what I'm talking about right now is just establishing the premise that there is a positive statistical association between CSI and intelligent causes. You're shifting to a separate premise that we have yet to motivate yet, right? The premise that you're now shifting to is that the universe has properties that are negatively statistically associated with intelligent causation. So for instance, you're alleging the universe is inefficient and that intelligent causes be efficient outcomes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a separate objection that we can return to, but it's actually independent of the question of whether there is a positive statistical association between CSI and intelligent causation. Because you could concede that there is a positive statistical association between CSI and intelligent causation, but then just make the argument, but there's a negative statistical association that's stronger between intelligent causation and efficient versus inefficient. So that objection, your objection is not pertinent to the premise that's under consideration.
What property you're associating with intelligence that's more expected under intelligence than, like, for example, some universe that has the propensity to give that same exact outcome?
Well, okay, so you can say that, so you can stipulate we have a universe that has some kind of non-intelligent disposition to produce a certain type of effect, and then not specify that hypothesis further. The problem is that what we're doing is we're creating a reference class where we're saying, based off of our observations in our universe, CSI is associated with intelligent causation. So you need to show me that whatever this type of disposition is, this non-agentic disposition, you need to show me that those are more positively associated with the high CSI effects in our universe.
What are the necessary sufficient conditions for something to be CSI to you?
Well, so basically we need to look for the complexity first of the string, right?
Complexity?
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. Complexity. When you say complexity, just define the complexity.
So basically we have a certain probability measure and you assign basically the complexity is inversely proportional to the probability of chance.
Yep.
So we can basically then the second criteria is going to be
hold up. You cut off for a second. Yeah, you might want to repeat that.
Yeah, so just the operational definition of complexity that I'm using right now is just based off of we have a certain measure. It's inversely proportional to the measure that's assigned. So basically, the probability of being produced by chance would be what the measure is operationalizing, right? So, and basically, this is
so something is complex if it's less likely to occur by chance.
So if it has a degree of structure that is unlikely to occur by chance. So basically, it's assigned a very low measure.
Okay, and give us like for example, do you consider DNA complex? According to the definition, it would be no.
No, it's yes.
Because we see an abundance of DNA. It's highly likely that DNA could form. What are you talking about?
But that doesn't mean it's likely to form by chance.
Yeah, it's highly likely to form by. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's highly likely to form. What do you mean by chance? Like you're just talking about any individual DNA forming.
Literally, what I'm saying is, suppose we have an encoding of DNA as a binary string, right?
Okay.
Now, there's the set of binary strings that would correspond to functional DNA. Okay, those are a very small fraction of the possibility space for all strings.
Well,
so therefore,
again, right,
if you were just if you had a uniform distribution over the strings, the probability that you would select a string that corresponded to functional DNA is negligible. Now, this is not saying anything about. This is not talking about natural probability. So the probability of something happening in nature, because nature doesn't have a uniform distribution over strings.
Yeah, are you just assuming that nature has some uniform distribution?
No, I'm not. I literally just said the opposite of that.
So what are you assuming that? So that hold on. When you're using DNA as an example, and you're saying that there's some uniform.
I'm giving. So you're not tracking. So I'm giving an operational definition of probability of forming
No, I'm
giving an operational definition of probability of forming
I'm asking like
randomness. That doesn't have anything to do with the natural causation or natural probability, given that natural causes are more structured than just uniform random.
Yeah, again, right. So when we're looking at this is question begging, bro. When we're looking at something like, for example, as complex as DNA, right? I don't see it like, oh, it's unlikely that DNA can occur, given some universe or given what? Like what are we? What are the parameters?
That's not what I'm talking about. Can you just listen to what I'm saying?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm giving you a definition of complexity of a string that is meant to be an abstract mathematical concept where I'm just saying, assume we had a uniform distribution over binary strings. There's some set of those strings that are compressible and compressible to a degree where to be compressible to that degree is assigned a zero measure relative to the measure over all strings.
And when you're saying strings, you're just talking about any combination of matter? Like what are the strings that we're talking about here?
The strings are just binary encoding representations of some observation.
Okay. And so we get DNA. You're saying that DNA is more likely.
Right now, I'm defining complexity of strings. Right.
Yeah, I know.
Then I'm going to tell you. Then I'm going to tell you how to interpret observations as strings.
Yeah, you're just saying that complexity is going to be inversely related to some sort of likelihood that a thing can come about.
Not likelihood that it comes about. I'm saying there's a fraction of strings that are compressible to a certain degree. So the minimal program that could reproduce the string, right? So the minimal size of the minimal description length of a program that could reproduce the string is some degree of short. So let's say the minimal program is 20 characters long in some programming language, right? And we have a proof that it doesn't matter what much. There's an invariance theorem that shows that it's only going to be like a finite offset depending on arbitrary choices of programming language. Okay, great. That programming language, what's the minimum description length of the program that prints the string? The lower that length is, the more compressible the string. the simpler the string.
Yeah. Because the more string, obviously, the more string is going to be more quote unquote complex, right? And then when you see, like, for example, let's say a bunch of strings are just zeros, and you're saying that's more likely to have been designed. And like, yeah, that would be complex as well, like versus like some random strings of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's basically we're trying to exclude incompressible random information.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to quantify. We're trying to quantify the degree of structure.
You're saying that precision, but again, like when you say 0, 0, 0, 0, that's you're assuming. Like when I look at 0, 0, 0, 0, that's as likely as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just giving the 0, 0, 0 more value than you are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're both equal. They're both equally likely.
Yes, there's an equal fraction. So this is the point I made earlier, which is that any arbitrary string will be assigned 0 measure if we're just treating all strings exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
But then we're saying there's a difference. There's an intuitively significant difference between certain strings, which is that some strings are highly structured, right? And it actually turns out to be a very small fraction of all strings that are highly structured.
Yeah, okay? But when you're saying it's structured, you're saying it's fraction. How is it highly structured? But how is it highly structured?
The structure. Because I just told you how I'm quantifying structure.
Yeah, but like okay, all right, I got you. Okay, you're saying that it's highly structured, but it would fail otherwise. Like for example, if we had some string that couldn't adapt to the environment, like there's some string that some species would have that couldn't adapt to the environment, that string would just fall out of the ecosystem, right? It wouldn't survive. Like for example, if I have like coins,
you're talking about the environment. That's completely you're going way into a different territory than what I'm talking about. Right now, what I'm talking about is just strings.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand how you pick out like what would be considered highly structured versus not structured. Because like again, like if I have
there's two things that need to be.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of why.
No. This is irrelevant. Just there's the quantification of the complexity of the string. Then there's a question, okay, how do you encode observations as strings, right? Those two questions are separate. I haven't gotten to the second question of how to do a binary encoding. I'm just focusing on the first question, which is assuming we had a binary encoding as binary strings, how do we quantify the complexity of a binary string, right? And the notion of complexity that I'm using is actually basically something called sophistication in computer science, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm using... Yeah,
like look, all right, man, I understand the structure part. Like you're saying that like 0, 0, 0 in a string, right, is more, it has more precision or is highly more structured than something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a string, correct?
For sure. I mean, not exactly, but
that's giving more value to the 0. The reason why, like for example, we pick 5 different cards out of a deck and we see the ace of hearts, we see the king of hearts, we see the queen of hearts, we see the 10, it's because we give those things a value, a royal flush, defined it as such. But we could have defined
there's a mathematical
any random 5.
So what I'm telling you is that there is a privileged notion of complexity for strings considered as mathematical objects. And it basically has to do with compressibility. Okay. So we can show that we have a certain programming language, right? And we have a prefix-free Turing machine. Okay. For any finite string, we can look for the total description length of the shortest program that generates that string. Okay. So then this gives us what's called the Kolmogorov complexity, which is not the notion of complexity that I'm using, but it's part of the definition, which is basically that's going to be a measure of the total information content of the string. Okay. And that's just going to be what the total description length is. So a random string will have high Kolmogorov complexity, but low sophistication.
But again, when you apply the beta distribution.
But what I can show you is that over the set of all of the possible binary strings, actually, no matter what programming language that you use, there's a constant penalty. But besides that constant penalty, asymptotically, they're all going to converge on the complexities they assign, the Kolmogorov complexities. So it is a mathematically privileged quantity of strings that corresponds to how structured they are. So it's a mathematically privileged notion of structure that's invariant.
I'm trying to understand how is it mathematically privileged. over like how is 0000 more mathematical? I had a phone call. How is 0000 more mathematically privileged than one? Keep getting the same phone call. My fault. How is 0000 more mathematically privileged than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is what I'm asking you there.
So I'm telling you, when you have a string, due to repetitions, okay, for instance, certain repeated types of patterns or nested loops within strings, it turns out that no matter what programming language that you use, for any sort of Turing, prefix-free Turing machine, so you have a universal Turing machine that's prefix-free, no matter which one of those that you use, and I can explain why Turing machines are privileged if you really need that, but it turns out relative to any Turing machine, compressibility is going to be invariant between all of these prefix-free Turing machines to within some finite constant. So therefore, Kolmogorov complexity there's an asymptotic convergence between all of them for the Kolmogorov complexity they're going to assign. So what that's showing you is the notion of a Turing machine actually itself already implies a privileged measure of complexity for strings based off of how short the shortest program that you feed into the Turing machine is. And so because the invariance, because Solomon-Oah...
You broke up. Hold on, you broke up. You broke up for like a good 2 seconds. Repeat the last thing about like the Turing machines. You said when you feed the Turing machine, and then I didn't hear anything after that.
Yeah, so the program that you feed to the Turing machines will have a certain length. The minimum program that you can feed in, the minimum size of program that you can feed in that will produce a certain string, that's the Kolmogorov complexity of it. It turns out no matter what arbitrary changes you make to the universal Turing machine, within a certain finite penalty, right? Within a constant penalty, they're going to agree on Kolmogorov complexity. So there's an asymptotic convergence between all of the Turing machines with regard to this measure. So what it's showing you is actually that once you have the notion of a Turing machine in the background, the compressibility of strings is a privileged sort of invariant thing that doesn't depend on arbitrary choices in representing the string.
Bro, what the fuck? Hold on. So a Turing machine. What the fuck is a Turing machine? Let's start there.
Wait, you don't know what a Turing machine is?
No, I don't know what a Turing machine is. No, I don't use Turing machines in any of my statistical work whatsoever.
Yeah, you do.
How do I use a Turing machine in my statistical work?
Okay, so there's
unless you talk about like R, like software like R, for example, is that a Turing machine?
Okay, well, let me explain it to you, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So there's a notion of effective computability that basically Church and Turing were trying to operationalize it. And they came up with a certain type of abstract machine, right? That I'm thinking about how to explain it simply, but they come up with a certain type of abstract machine that captures basically if this machine can perform a certain operation or can execute a certain program, right? A certain input-output mapping, then that corresponds to the notion of computability, of effective computability, right? And so computer scientists and mathematicians have adopted Turing machine as sort of the privileged abstract representation that formalizes the idea of computability, right? And so there's an idea of the universality of a Turing machine, right? Which is just one Turing machine can simulate anything that any other Turing machine does. So it doesn't matter the particular details about each because you can run one Turing machine on any other Turing machine. And this captures the idea of what can be computed versus what's uncomputable. And so it's widely accepted in computer science and mathematics, basically, that this is sort of a privileged notion.
So I looked it up. It's talking about like a machine that could simulate any other Turing machine representing a general purpose computer. And it's non-deterministic. They're a Turing machine, a model where the machine can have multiple possible actions, next actions, unlike the standard deterministic model. If a problem can be solved by a computer, it can be solved by a Turing machine, making it the bedrock of theoretical computer science. While powerful, they cannot solve certain problems, most notably
But just the whole idea is that there are certain functions that are the effectively computable functions, and any of those can be computed by a Turing machine. So whenever you have a difference between the machines, it just reduces to constant overhead, because the only thing you need to do is there's going to be some constant cost penalty that you're going to pay in order to simulate the other Turing machine, and then you can express everything that Turing machine can express. So there's a universal language here that's implied by Turing machines. That's just, and this gives you a definition.
Look, let me break it down like this.
I
Like,
still
if
don't
you
get
don't
the fuck with a
understand,
fucker.
yeah, if you don't understand what Ethan Muse is saying, you should probably just shut the fuck up and listen.
I didn't even talk, bro. What the fuck are you? Yo, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. You good, bro? You good, my
You
nigga?
good?
Wait.
Who are you? Like, who the fuck are
Wait,
you?
leave this as a 1v1.
Monkey Boy, mute anybody other than Ethan and
Delete.
Like, who the fuck is that guy?
What was his name? Is it? Who was that?
I think it was Teacup. Yeah, just anybody else who talks, just mute them. Sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay.
I was letting him talk, you dumbass.
Are we almost done, or?
Yeah, I'm almost done. I mean, I probably give you like until 2:45. So if there's any last things you want to talk about.
Yeah, you're not looking good in this debate, Kata.
Wait, AR, do you accept? Do you want to make some concluding statements?
What the fuck? We didn't even get to the crux of the argument.
Now, whose fault is that?
There's nobody's
Kata's.
fault. We're just.
Right, can somebody mute? Wait, how about wait? How about Eat Muse? Can you just recapitulate how you think the dialectic went, and then AR can give his concluding mark, and then
this doesn't match.
Hold on, and then the chair just gives his concluding remark, and then we can end the debate there.
We didn't even get to like any of the actual. Okay, all right, whatever, bro.
Wait, Eat Muse, do you want to like just summarize what you think was going on in the discussion? What?
I mean, it doesn't feel like we got anywhere in the discussion
at all.
Because I was trying to lay out my argument. It seemed for a while he was like confused about what I was saying, and he was, he thought the stalking horse objection was relevant, but I think it's relevant to a completely different type of argument than the one that I was making, which is very a posteriori and based off of like statistical associations.
Yeah,
then he
but
objects
that's
to
the
my
argument
claim that there is a statistical. Okay,
I wanted you to run. That's the argument that I wanted
Just
you
calm
to
down. Just calm down. You know.
Let him
No,
finish,
hold
and
on.
then you go. Right.
Just to be clear, I wanted him to
This
run.
is just closings.
All right,
But you don't got your lifestyle on the line.
No, it's fine. You should give your closing statement. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm here to get paid. Like,
no,
this is all for you.
No, go ahead. Like, it doesn't matter. I was trying to. All right, whatever. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay. So my read on the situation was I'm trying to present a pretty simple argument where I'm saying, okay, look, we see that he first starts out by saying he doesn't want to talk about my God concept. So I was starting with a God concept that started us out with like, omnibenevolence, omniscience, omnipotence, like aseity, all those types, infinity, simplicity, all those properties, and then generating predictive expectations from those. He says, no, he wants a notion of bare theism that was just like any intelligent agent that creates a universe. That was his definition. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll play. If you want to play that game,
just to
I'll
be
play
clear,
that game.
you could tack on some properties to God, right? But then it's gonna come at a cost, right? Because it's gonna lower, sort of. Because I don't want you to say like, oh, that is the bare minimum of what you want God to be. You could tack on some properties of God.
Well, no, we can run a fine-tuning argument for different conclusions, right? So one conclusion we could run the argument for is just that the universe has an intelligent cause, that it's more likely, given this evidence, that the universe has an intelligent cause. Another way we can run the argument is we could say, this provides strong evidence for my God concept, which implies omnibenevolence or whatever is the way we're getting a predictive expectation. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Either
we could do either one.
It sounded like you wanted to do the one that was more minimal, because you were asking me, the thing you were challenging me to do was to argue, can you even get that it's more likely that we'd have a universe like this given intelligent cause than non-intelligent cause? And it seems like the thing that you had in mind was you wanted to run stalking horse objections. Now, and then just show that you needed additional assumptions about divine psychology in order to run the argument. Then I was trying to show that there's an inductive argument that you can run based off of, ubiquitous observations that we make about statistical associations between certain properties of effects and their causes, whether the causes are intelligent or unintelligent, that we can still get a predictive expectation that favors intelligent causation given certain properties that the initial conditions of the universe had. You then try to block even the minimal claim that there is a positive statistical association. It also seems like you wanted us to get to this discussion about, well, look, it seems like the universe has certain properties that are unexpected, like, for instance, what you deem to be inefficiency. And so I would get to that. I mean, first we needed to establish the first premise before we got to that. Then we got into the weeds where you were just demanding formal definitions of stuff that we could have left as sort of pre-theoretical, informal. And so and then that gets us in the weeds where we're having to define Turing machines and Kolmogorov complexity and sophistication and, measure theoretic definitions of randomness and all this stuff. So it just got us on a rabbit trail.
Yeah, I get it. I said it depends because at certain points, I did want you to define, for example, random, and then you had a different notion of random than what I had. And that's the reason why we had to flush out some of the semantics. Because when I think of random, I just think of something that doesn't have some sort of deterministic antecedents, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if we could leave the notion as informal and preceded. But if you really want to drill down on it, then we can. But it's going to result in this situation where obviously we didn't cover much substantive territory.
Yeah, I understand that. And then, you're saying this life specifically. Again, you're giving this life a certain value of it being complex or very unlikely, given some sort of string of constants, right? And then the pushback on that is that we don't know whether or not some other string of constants could have brought about some other type of life. There could have been a plethora of types of life that we could have had, if God really was going for that type of thing. For example, we could have had silicone-based life, carbon-based life. We could have had some other type of based life. We couldn't have. We can't even imagine or fathom. And then we could also look at
obviously, I can't respond to this right now because I have to go in 1 minute.
And then you also have immaterial. And then God could have also just made immaterial life. He didn't even have to even make a fucking.
But again, so I just want to point out that none of this actually is an objection to the argument in the form that I was running it.
It is because that undermines for example, life given God or God given life, like life given God, for example, because it seems as though that God could have created life, and this intelligent cause could have created life.
Good talking with you. I gotta bounce. See you,
Ethan. Someone offered you another 35 if you continue. I'm pretty sure.
No.
No.
Detroit, do you want to give your judgment time? Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, do you want me to just go over the relevant points, or do you want me to actually decide a winner or
No. So first summarize the discussion. Think who got the most points, and then announce the winner. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. So I made a couple of notes here. They started off talking about bare theism. I actually thought they both had a sort of somewhat idiosyncratic notion of theism. Ethan's being a bit too strong, and AR's being a bit too weak. If AR was attempting to run my argument, it's not really concerning bare theism per se. I talk about it as bare design or bare causation, if you want to even go further. Because, well, theism is somewhat loaded in. You might say that it actually does predict certain things more strongly than a bare design or bare cause does, because theism is associated with being good or rational or worthy of worship, other things like that, and that might more strongly predict life permitting conditions. So, but it is interesting though that when AR sort of pushed in the direction of this more what I would call bare design, or if you want to call it sort of minimal theism, I suppose, but I don't think that's appropriate. Ethan actually no longer started presenting as or defending the kind of standard Bayesian fine-tuning argument. Rather, he went for just a inductive inference from facts about how certain sorts of things tend to get produced, things with complex structure and so on. Well, it didn't really get fully expressed, but I think the idea was going to be something like the world as a whole with its laws and so on is something that bears those features. And so we have some sort of inductive support for that being designed. And so some sort of inductive support for the hypothesis that he was tasked with defending. But the basic structure of that argument is fine. I don't think it really got discussed very well. But yeah, I think so let's see. There's some discussion about a stalking horse, and I think Ethan was correct to say that that's sort of inapplicable here, because either inductive inference is correct or not, right? What is the stalking horse supposed to do? Like you could say that there's another. Let's suppose that you say, okay, here's this design hypothesis, and it looks like and I think the stalking horse objection is good for a certain class of argument. I just don't think it works or is applicable here, really, because like you can say, look, here's this other hypothesis that also predicts this data, right? That there's this complex specified or structured information, and you can say, well, okay, but we're not talking about which hypothesis predicts that data better, right? The whole point of this was to say, look, here's some data that is indicative of this sort of cause or origin, right? Given the evidence that we have, right, in support of that inductive inference. So it just seems to me like an inapplicable response. And I think Ethan was correct to point that out.
But my
I
whole
also
point,
think.
But I just
Let me
hold on,
just
just pause. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I just want to get through a couple other things, and if you want to add some response after, that's fine. But another thing that I thought was, yeah, so there on related to that point, it was sort of Ethan trying to clarify the argument that he was making, and I think it sort of gets lost a bit because it wasn't the standard kind of Bayesian fine-tuning argument that he was defending after the early segment. So maybe that got a little bit confused, but regardless, it is a different argument. And so he wasn't actually making this sort of analytic inference or conceptual inference from something about the hypothesis in question, that there's an intelligent creator, to there being or more likely being things of a certain sort, say life permitting conditions. Rather, it was just this inductive association, this inductive inference. So, and then another objection that AR raised concerned these probabilities to do with like the number of planets and solar systems, stuff like that, and use the dice analogy, or I forget what it was exactly, something like that, or coin flipping analogy. And I think I wasn't sure exactly what the point there was supposed to be, because the point was not about the inductive inference is not toward a particular planet being life permitting or having life. Rather, it's regarding the universe as a whole, I assumed, although the argument wasn't fully fleshed out on Ethan's behalf. So it's not really relevant unless the objection here is a sort of multiverse objection. It's not really relevant that there's many planets and most of them don't have life. The point as a whole is, in fact, life permitting, and or more specifically, does have those exhibit those the features that Ethan was pointing out, complex structured information and so on. So I don't think that was I think, although he maybe could have expressed it better, I think Ethan was correct to point out that that's not a relevant objection, unless it's going for the multiverse, but that wasn't really explored, so I'm not sure about that. AR did point out that, well, okay, but what if the universe just had a certain sort of propensity to produce these sorts of things, at least with some frequency, even if low, right? Maybe it's 1 in an octillion, whatever, that it produces life. part of that, it seems to run into the same problem. We're not concerning the relevant data is not some low frequency of life in the universe or low frequency of like habitable planets. Rather, the data was the universe as a whole being life emitting, or the universe as a whole exhibiting the relevant features, complex structure, information, and so on. So I'm not sure what the relevance of that objection was, but furthermore, and I think Ethan pointed this out, was that it's not a matter of taking the hypothesis itself, a universe with certain propensities or a designer of a certain sort, and inferring like what's likely on that. Rather, again, he was making inductive arguments that's sort of going the other way, looking at data that we have, how certain sorts of things tend to get produced, in particular things with complex structured information, and for the uncontroversial cases, they tend to be produced by intelligent minds or agents, or so his argument goes anyway. I would disagree with that. But and then inferring from that, well, here's another thing that has that, and concluding by the induction that that's probably more likely something of that sort, intelligent mind or intelligent agent. So yeah, I think that was I did get to one point about how I'll just finish. There was a lot of time I think wasted talking about trying to pin down these notions more formally that Ethan was employing, the complexity and structure, information, and Turing machines, and so on. I think, well, I mean, maybe it's sort of inessential to his argument that they be appealed to, but I don't think it was actually.
So rate from 1 to 10 the debate performance of Ethan Muse and of AR, and then say who you think won.
Before you do, can I make a comment? I was asking him for the argument. Hold on, because no, the whole premise of this thing was that he's supposed to give an argument of fine tuning given Bayes' theorem.
Wait, let the judge.
He was supposed to give a statistical analysis on why God would be more likely given life, and he hasn't done that. That wasn't the argument. He didn't give that argument.
Wait, just hold on.
We have to let the judge. Yeah. So Detroit, rate each 1 to 10, and then who won.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'll skip over some of the things I was going to comment on. Although I will say it was a bit strange that Ethan said at one point that. That he was concerned with showing that this is something that raises the credence in an intelligent cause, and not something that shows that it's more likely an intelligent cause than not. I feel like that's a bit strange. I thought one of the main points of these arguments is to show that it's probably the case, not just to show that relative to some background or some prior that this data increases it to some degree. I mean, I don't know. I would even grant that. Policies he has in question, but yeah, okay. In terms of rating them, I don't know. Let me just comment on the thing that AR just said. And he was asking him to give a Bayesian argument. Well, okay, maybe he didn't explicitly draw out a Bayesian inference, but I think that is actually an appropriate description of the sort of argument he was making, right? Because he can say.
That's what I asked him for. I asked him for an argument given Bayes' theorem. That's what I asked him for. He didn't give it. He gave an inductive argument. What the hell was that?
Wait, AR, please, you're gonna get to speak as much as you want. Just the rankings.
But the inductive, but the inductive argument, and I won't focus on this much more. But the inductive argument sort of could trivially be expressed in that way. So I think it's sort of, I mean, he didn't use words like Bayes and express more precise probabilities, but. Like clearly, he was implying, suggesting that look, here's some data we have about how certain sorts of things get produced, things with complex structured information, and they tend to be produced by intelligent agents. That sort of implies, okay, you have some sort of probability of intelligent agents given or being behind it, given something having complex structured information, right? We didn't really say much about priors, but you can have a constraint on priors and then make an inference given the data in question, and so it could be framed as, or it could trivially sort of be framed as a Bayesian inference. Not that he explicitly laid it out as such, but I think kind of it is amenable to that description. Now, it's not the standard Bayesian inference that you get with normal fine-tuning arguments, but it's, anyway, something like that. In terms of overall rating, yeah, I mean, on the whole, I think Ethan did better. I don't know if there's exact ratings out of 10 that I would give the participants, but yeah, I mean, largely for the reasons that I went to, I would give it to Ethan, although I think they both could have done things better. But I don't know. Do you want me to give more of a breakdown than that?
Yo, how much was Ethan paid to tutor this kid for an hour?
$40.
He didn't tutor me. Like he didn't even know what a beta distribution. He didn't even know what a beta distribution is.
That's all. There was no debate. That was a tutoring session.
He don't even know what a beta distribution is. Okay, so you don't even like that was that was a huge contention, right? Like we're talking about Bayesian inference.
Got him on one thing he didn't know. You got him on one thing.
Yeah,
he got you on so many things you didn't know. What are you talking about?
That's not.
Yeah, you had to be like dog walked through basically every term and facet of that.
That's
combo.
not true.
No, just because I'm gonna let AR, you gotta get to defend yourself as much as you want. Just one question for everybody here: atheists, atheists. Does anybody here think AR did well? Speak up.
No.
He did terribly, bro. What the hell?
I did.
I can prescribe you meds if you did.
Just to be clear,
this guy's Mars here.
Yo, just to be clear, I'm ending the recording right now. Okay.
Who walks into a debate and starts shouting at people?
He didn't do what I asked him to do, bro. That's not what I asked him to do.
You started shouting at him for no reason. Like, what's
I'm
that
saying,
about?
like, I was asking him, like, what's more expected? Like, that wasn't. Okay, never mind, bro. I
People
guess
in
like
chat were calling you Blund R with the ER.
Dude, $40 an hour is a steal. You should take it.
Yo, bro, like that's not what I didn't ask him for that type of argument. We're supposed to argue like for example, I asked him like, okay, how do you get the probability of God given
You can't even speak English, bro. Like your English is horrible, man.
Yeah,
Just
my
give
English
up.
is terrible. My English is terrible. Anyways, how do you get like the
Look,
probability
AR,
of God
just calm down, bro. Just shut up. It's ended. Jesus.
Again, I asked him to motivate the probability of God given
Wait.
life.
Yo, AR,
Pretty greater than
AR, do you think Ethan Muse is a good debater now? Because you were pretty confident he was going to be trash before.
I never said he was going to be trash. What the
You said there's no way he's better than people like AMD.
I want
to
quote.
So you think that guy's better than AMD is what you're saying?
I want to quote AR directly.
Okay,
He
say
said,
so.
and I quote, "I will beat any theist that you put in my way."
He didn't get to God, bro.
AR,
But he
do you
defeated
think he
you.
won
He
this
defeated
debate?
you.
He didn't get
AR,
to God.
did
Like,
you
you guys
defeat him this
you guys
debate?
saying he didn't.
Did
He
you defeat
didn't
him?
show. We didn't finish the conversation. He didn't
Did you
get to God.
defeat him, or did he
You
defeat
didn't
you?
even. You couldn't.
He didn't.
You couldn't
He didn't
even
get to.
track.
He didn't
Wait,
get.
you couldn't even. Hold on. You
He
didn't
concluded
even
that God
track
exists, bro.
that he was talking about
He
statistical probability.
concluded that God
Let me
exists.
land. Let me land.
He conclude. Hold on. We can
Bro.
continue the
crashing
conversation.
now?
You could have
Okay.
Ethan come up here and continue the conversation, but
Look,
he didn't conclude that God exists.
throughout the first 30 minutes,
I mean,
the
you guys
first
want to
30
laugh, but he
minutes of
didn't
the
do that. And
conversation, you couldn't even track
he
that
didn't
he was
understand.
talking
He didn't
about
understand my
statistic
objection to the beta.
probability rather than a
He didn't understand my
Yeah, but
beta.
you didn't understand that he was talking about statistical probability for like the first 15 minutes of the conversation.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that he was talking about statistical probability
No
from the
shit.
first 15 minutes. Yeah, but you
I
couldn't grab
literally
that.
said to lay out a statistical.
You didn't grab
I
that.
did know
Because
that. What are you
kept,
talking about?
No,
Yes,
because
I did.
kept correcting. He kept
No, I
correcting
didn't.
you in the conversation.
I
Don't worry,
literally
we have the
said.
clip,
I
bro. It's
literally
all right.
said. I
We have the
literally
clip. It's
said
all right.
more like. I literally said. Hold on. I literally said more likely.
No,
I
you
said
said
that-
you said how does this? You kept
How the
asking him.
fuck did I
You
know?
kept
How the fuck did I
asking
know
him.
it's statistical?
Look,
How did I know?
you
Hold
kept
on.
asking
You don't
him
know.
how does
You
this
can't
mean
keep up. You
God,
can't
and
keep
he
up. What's
kept
the beta?
saying,
What's the
"Well,
beta
I'm not
distribution, bro?
talking." He's not.
What's the probability
Bro,
distribution?
you keep cutting me off.
Exactly, yo, bro. Like I was saying, I know that he was talking about that God is more expected under these properties, right? That we see. I understand what he was going with, right? Like the point that I'm trying to make here
He kept
is that
correcting you and telling you he was
not
talking
better
about stats.
expected under an intelligent cause. Listen,
You're
it's
not
better
making
accept-
well-formed sentences, bro. Just stop.
It's
Like
not
you're
better
embarrassing
expected
yourself.
It's not better expected under God, given the properties that he laid out. That's
Wait,
what I'm
AR,
trying to.
do you think? Wait, AR, do you think you did good in this conversation?
Do I think I did good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
What the
deluded.
fuck? Like, do you guys?
Delusional.
None of you guys.
Yo, pass the coke, bro.
None of you guys know what the fuck we were talking about.
No, but
Yeah, but I know Destroyer knows what you're talking about. Destroyer said you lost.
Did you listen
You
to
guys are
Destroyer
arrogant,
at
bro.
all?
Destroyer said Ethan Muse
The
shit your
arrogance that's
pants.
spewing amongst y'all could take his nuts out your mouth now, bro.
AR, do you think you won this argument?
Yo, you want to keep glazing him, bro?
AR, ¿por qué tú tienes que ser tan bobo? Just take the fucking L, bro.
Yo,
Like,
I'm not taking the L over this, bro. He didn't prove God.
Wait, AR, you
L
didn't
and move
lose?
on,
You didn't lose?
You
didn't lose?
Hell no.
You didn't
It
lose?
wasn't concluded. It wasn't concluded. How the fuck
It
did I
was
lose?
concluded. Destroyer said you lost.
AR, bro.
No.
This looks awful, bro.
Destroyer said
This
Ethan
looks
Muse
awful.
shit your
Take the
pants.
fucking L and move on.
Destroyer said that Ethan Muse shit your pants.
Based on an unfinished argument.
To be honest, it's quite impressive that he was able to hold a dialogue with him. I respect that, but you still lost.
Yeah, again, right. So he didn't conclude that God existed. He didn't get there.
You losing,
I would have liked to see him where he would gone. I should have just granted
That's
this.
not
this
how
whole
we
shit.
determine who
I should have
won and
granted.
lost.
I should have
It's not.
granted. I should have granted this because I could see how he's going to conclude that God exists. I should have granted
Look,
that.
AR, you
what
know,
determines what?
AR, do you know you're not
I should have
required to
granted.
finish an argument to hold a winner?
I should have granted. Hold on. I should have granted that first.
Can you stop
hold
talking?
on. Listen. I should have
Can you
granted
stop
that first.
talking? Like, we're not interested.
Yo, let me fucking finish my sentence before I let you talk.
Okay, whatever.
All right. Anyways, I should have if I would have granted that first one.
This guy's getting bullied, bro.
He couldn't have concluded that God existed. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but
If
that's
I-
like
wait, do we-
that's like
do we-
asking. That's like saying, the debate was about proving Goldbach's conjecture, and you spend an hour asking like, oh, what does the plus sign mean?
Exactly.
What is this minus
Exactly.
thingy?
Literally.
I never said.
You know,
I never said
if
nothing
you
about.
wanted to get lectured by Ethan
I never
Muse, you
said-
could have just asked
barely
Venus to
ever-
get his
we
number
barely-
out.
Oh my God, bro!
Yeah, look,
You guys
we
not
don't
listening,
judge.
You didn't have to
I'm
like
saying
debate
that
him.
my objection.
AR, we
on.
don't judge a debate by who proved their conclusion. We judge a debate by who outperformed in the dialogue, in the conversation. And
I
Ethan
don't
did that
care
with
about.
you.
I'm talking about the substance, bro.
He couldn't get
But
to
I'm
the
just
he
saying that
couldn't
we
get to
couldn't
the
get to the-
conclusion because of your lack
couldn't
of
get to the-
knowledge, not because of his
Nah,
But
it's
you
not
weren't
my lack of knowledge.
skilled
Not my-
enough to
no,
get
it's not
into
my
the
lack of-
substance.
not
You
my lack-
couldn't keep him on track
Exactly.
because you
No,
weren't
it's because
skilled
I
enough
wanted.
to do
I
that.
wanted a specific.
You said that you were going to
Exactly.
destroy any
Yo, one
theist
at
that
a
was
I wanted
in
a
your
time.
face.
specific. I wanted a
Exactly.
specific. I never said. Look. I wanted a specific argument. Give me 1 second. Hold
This is like Daft Dawkins level of cope.
Anyways,
I'm
yeah,
done,
I
man.
wanted a specific argument, right? And he didn't give that specific argument. He gave some other argument. You guys said, "Oh, he could beat me at any specific argument that I wanted him to give me," and he didn't give that specific
You listen
argument.
to what Destroyer said?
Huh? Yeah, he was
listen
saying
to
that
what
you
Destroyer-
can turn it into such an argument.
Okay, AR, you already concluded that the argument wasn't finished, so you don't know whether he was gonna run it with base.
Oh my God, bro!
You
That's the
didn't
point I'm trying
arrive
to make. Is that
You
the
didn't
point I was trying to
arrive
make
there,
is that
shut up. Like
I was waiting for like him to assign priors, and was waiting
maybe
for
you were
him to-
debating him, and you should have asked. Who's
I
wrong
wanted
on
him.
this
I
one?
wanted him to assign priors, right? And so then from those priors,
Oh
he's able to get to conclusion that God is more likely given some probability posterior, and that's what I was waiting for.
But
He
dialectically,
didn't
you
give that
couldn't
type of
keep him on
argument.
track.
Everyone else
because
is wrong. You're right.
He was
It's not
more
you.
skilled than
Wait,
you, and you
He
couldn't
wasn't.
keep
He
him
wasn't
on
giving.
track.
No,
So
he didn't.
wait.
He didn't.
even
he
if
didn't
we
assign,
grant that he
I
wouldn't
asked him. I
respond
asked
to
him
it,
for
you
prior
couldn't keep
how
him
you're
on track.
assigning these prior. I asked
Bro,
him
it's
how
never
he's
you,
assigning
bro.
these
Don't worry about these people are our
Wait,
haters.
wait,
It's never
wait,
you.
I
wait. 1
asked
second.
him how he's assigning these priors, and he
Wait,
didn't.
is
Wait.
Hatim? Is Hatim still in, or did Hatim leave?
I think he left.
Oh, okay.
He said
No,
he
he
got
was
signed out.
streaming it. He was streaming it on TikTok. He was.
But look,
I don't know.
Eric, did you want him to assign numerical values? He doesn't have to do that. He can just
Not
use
exactly.
the
No,
option.
no. He don't even have to assign the numerical values. He could assign some variable to some
Yeah, I was
prior
gonna say,
probability.
well, then why would you want him to assign priors like that? All he has to do
No,
is
he
show
don't.
the
He
odds
could
for
assign.
him.
He could assign priors. He could assign priors like with some variables, talking about how
Yeah,
these
but, like,
variables are more likely given God versus not God, and then we could run like some sort of like prior and seeing whether or not these priors ultimately mathematically show that God is more likely than not God, given life. Right? We can do that, but that's not the argument that he was running. He wasn't running the argument that I was prepared.
Wait, but like that's not even relevant. Like we care about the posterior. Like that wouldn't be a like something that's a result from like the Bayes factor. That's just from priors. But no one's interested. Like, look, I have priors that eventually, when if I was a woman, I'd probably get raped down the street, right? But like, no one's interested in.
We're not
to
talking
hear
about.
stuff about the posterior and whether it is ever.
Wait.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about like you have a prior. Like, let's say you have a prior like bare theism, like bare design, right? We have like some sort of God stripped from his properties that would give him some sort of susceptibility to creating life, right? And then you have God as that, right? And then you have to update that prior probability, given that you give God some property, such that God would have the bias towards life, right? And then when you give him that property, then you have to obviously lower the probability on the priors. And then from that priors of lowering that probability there, you can't make up for it in the posterior, right? Like it's just proportional.
I'm not even sure. Well, I'm not even sure if that's. Well, look, if
I can show
he
you.
had more
I can show you the method on
time.
that.
Well, hold on. Wait, just calm down. Just calm down. You realize the amount you're penalized depends on one, the background like data you're updating on, and two, if you can independently motivate the updating you're doing from each conjunct.
That's what I'm saying.
Which, by the way, Ethan is more than capable of doing. By the way, like,
yeah, sure.
So I'm not sure why, and he even granted you that
why
if
did he
that's
do that?
true when we're updating.
Why did he do that?
No, he did grant you that. He said that yes, it's very trivial that when we're updating with each conjunct, it's going to lower the probability. He granted you that, and it still doesn't favor theism or not. I'm sorry.
This is exactly why we should have done the formatted debate where you have introduction, because that way people can like have some structure when you have like this is non-structure. I think AI would accept his defeat.
Wait, Hatim, who do you think like did well in that debate?
I think obviously Ethan performed better, but I don't think it matters. But I don't think it matters that he performed better because I think what people
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. So what did we do this for? What did we do this for?
Yeah, can you just wait? I think the whole purpose I think the whole purpose of what AR wanted to do is to demonstrate that the arguments for whoever is the theist, in this instance Ethan, was going to fail, and he didn't get the opportunity to do that, and that's a time issue.
You don't think he was failing? Like you don't think Ethan was succeeding so far?
I think it didn't even point. I think it's inconclusive. I think even if you
I didn't say it concluded. I didn't say it concluded.
Yeah, I think he was sounding better, but there was so much of the conversation. I think 70% of the conversation was a clarity issue.
On whose part?
On AR's not understanding what.
Okay.
What is that going to do with anything?
It has a lot to do with something, especially with
it has a lot to do with the claim that he would debate any theist.
Didn't I say that it's all going to come down to vocabulary? It's all going to come down to vocabulary that I don't know.
Guys,
that's what I said. It would come down to.
Debating a theist would mean
and also win.
Debating a theist and winning would mean obviously that once he understands what's being said, and then he would be able to refute it, and then based on that refutation. Look, if I don't
that is. That's exactly.
Hey, bro, if you go into a debate and you don't know what the fuck is being said, and then you lose at the end, you can be like, "Well, I didn't lose because I didn't fully know the concept."
You're saying I didn't lose because I didn't know.
I didn't lose. I just don't read philosophy.
If I don't know what you're saying, how am I going to lose?
You can lose by
because
oh my god.
Point of the debate.
Yes, I even said
it's just a fucking average debate. I even said that on TikTok. Hold on, guys. I even said that on TikTok. I was like, he'll probably win like on vocabulary on shit that I don't know because he has like some vocabulary.
You think what Hakeem said?
You're like interrupting the
conversation. You think Hakeem just cooked right there?
Hold on, guys.
You think Hakeem cooked right there?
Hold on. And guess what you guys said? You guys said, "Oh yeah, but he'll just define the terms for you."
He did define them.
He did.
Yeah. Right, and once he did, then they were talking a little bit more substantively.
Again,
once he did, the people that were listening that didn't understand.
Oh my god, Hakeem. Your goal. You're required to refute the argument And if you don't have the capacity to refute the argument, then you can't refute it, which means you lost.
That's if you don't
Wait,
understand.
AR has the capacity if he understood.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's imagine Let's imagine debating is like a reason-giving game. It's like a game where you try and convince a person, and you're in a room. You're taking the affirmative of a proposition. Your interlocutor's taking the negation, and there's one person in the room, and your job is to convince that person of your side. If you give an argument and the other person doesn't understand what you're saying, the person in the room is not going to be like, "Well, I'm convinced of this guy, but since you failed to even understand, I'm just going to hold judgment."
What? So if I come up with words, so if I come up with words that nobody understands, like I use idiosyncratic words to try to deliver an argument, and then somebody's trying to figure out all the idiosyncratic words that I make.
That's not analogous.
Type of argument, AR.
Hold on. Let me lay it out.
It's not analogous. This is a straw
I didn't
man.
finish my thought. I didn't finish my thought.
Wait.
If I have an argument, if I have an argument and I go,
Let him finish.
Oh my God, let me finish my thought, bro. If I have an argument and I give all of the idiosyncratic terms that nobody else would know, like I'm coming up with these words that nobody else knows, and I deliver an argument that way.
Term did he use?
Huh?
What idiosyncratic term did he use?
I'm saying if. I didn't say that he did. I'm saying if.
So it's not analogous.
Well,
oh, so
are you making a relevant
I'm literally,
point or
I'm pushing your argument to this.
Use the idiosyncratic term.
Yo, Hatim. AR and Hatim. You guys are in a corner alone. Does that feel correct?
That's why I'm trying to ask you. Just wait. Just pause. Let's ask Detroiter. Let's ask Detroiter. Do you think this debate, if you weren't
Bro, Detroit already said that he lost, bro. Like,
just wait, relax.
I'm very confident. Right?
Okay. I'm talking about calming down dialectically, but not interrupting me.
If
you weren't
guys, whose idea was it to have friction as a judge? Oh, it was AR's idea.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wait, we're asking the person that was tasked here to judge. I think he was probably forcing his hand to, like, if I had to choose a side, I would choose. But let's say you didn't have to choose a side.
Well, that's just because Detroiter's a nice guy.
Hold on, bro. Relax. Detroiter, do you think if you didn't have to choose for the sake of this performance or whatever, for this debate,
just realize the chaos Venus ensues.
Oh my God, are you okay? Detroiter, do you think that you
well done.
This is a consequence of Venus, mind you.
Do you think that this debate is inconclusive? Is more of an accurate depiction of this conversation or not?
Oh, nobody thinks that the debate concluded.
Yeah.
What I mean by inconclusive, I mean
you couldn't tell who was going to win.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who was going to win based on what the fuck he just
the winning here is the winning, and this is the context, right? Maybe you went there, Zach, when we were discussing about what it means to have won in this context, is on the substance, whether or not it's sound what they're saying. That's what we're not talking about. We're not talking about who sounds better. We're not talking about who sounds better. Obviously, Ethan sounds a trillion times better than AR.
You think Ethan was like doing rhetoric or something?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
do you think
in fucking philosophy of math? He's gonna have more fucking
vocabulary than I do. Ethan sounds better. He's more concise. He speaks better. He has a better speaking style. AR gets confused a bit. He doesn't know how to speak as accurately as Ethan. Nobody's in dispute with that.
Okay, who won on substance?
Voice too.
I'm saying it's inconclusive on substance so far. That's the whole
really.
What?
You're
just smoking dick, bro.
How about you give an argument on that?
Bro, like how do you guys understand it? Like, I even said it before debating him.
AR,
I
what's
even
the
said it
relevant
before debating him that it was going to be a vocabulary issue.
AR, what's the relevant distinction between Bayesianism and frequentism? Because I think that was where a lot of the hang-up was.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about right now, bro? All I'm saying is the hang-up was that a lot of the vocabulary that he was using, obviously, I'm not familiar with some of the vocabulary that he was using. Right, so wait, I told you.
Yeah, but wait. AR. When he wasn't familiar with the term you were using, not only was he immediately honest, but then you tried to use it as points against him. He didn't even know what a beta distribution was.
Somebody's saying that.
Hey, yo, chill out.
Somebody's saying.
I'm saying. I'm saying
The only reason I
in the
said that
event
is
that
we
in the
already
event
talked, bro.
that your
AR,
interlocutor
bro,
needs to explain a term to you,
let him speak.
I didn't make
in
the
the
points.
in the
I
event
didn't make
that
points. Holy
in
shit.
the event that
That's what
your
I said.
interlocutor uses a term that needs to be explained to you,
I would've said
if you think that's detrimental, then you committed that blunder 4 times more than he did.
That's not what I said. I said the only reason I brought that up was because somebody said that he was teaching me the whole way through, and I'm saying like no, there was things that obviously he didn't know
It's
either.
only one thing that he didn't know,
I
bro.
could have named so many things.
Wait, so you
There was only one thing, bro. Look, yeah, you got cooked, bro.
Hold on,
You got cooked,
only
bro.
one thing.
You got cooked, bro.
There's not
being able to
one
take
thing.
an
I
L
could have.
is embarrassing.
Holy shit, bro! There's so many. That was his argument. Obviously, I had to understand what his argument is. I'm not the one that was giving the argument. Because if I was giving the argument, I could give him my paper, and then we could discuss the paper that I've
Which
written.
I thought was
about
going to be the thing the whole time, bro.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, you have papers now?
Yeah, your
I have a
papers are
paper,
probably
I have a
shit as
paper-
well,
I
bro.
have a paper against the fine tuning argument. Yeah.
Wait, but
That's what I wanted to discuss.
Niggas just be writing, bro.
I know
You know what I'm
what
saying?
you do.
Right to
I know
rap,
what
bro.
you do.
They be making anyone authors nowadays. Like, what the
I know
hell?
what you do.
Hold
I
on,
know what you do.
Nigga thought.
No, but
I know
Adam, I
what
think
Nigga said he has papers. No one's reading
Adam,
the papers.
I know what you can do.
Yo, but AR, you were like,
Hold
you
on.
said this
No, let me talk.
right,
Let me talk.
right
I know what you
before,
can do
right,
next
no,
time.
right
I know
before
what
this
you can do
Discord,
next
you
time.
said, Ethan, you can even go look on my TikTok. My argument is the most recent post. And then when Ethan shows up, you say, so what's your argument for God?
All right. So no, I said given the fine tuning.
It's on recording. You said, what's your argument for God? You said, prove God.
Based on given fine tuning. Yeah, it's on recording.
It's on
I said
recording.
given the fine tuning.
It's actually uploaded right now, by the way. Uploaded right now.
Okay, go ahead. Right, you're gonna
I
see.
mean,
You're gonna
it's
see.
already live
Doing
streamed. You could
damage
go back
control,
and
man.
play back.
It says, I'm gonna let me finish my sentence, bro. I said given the fine tuning and Bayesian analysis. I said
And
that.
you had to correct you. You had to correct you.
What the fuck are you saying?
Correct me
guys,
with what? What are you talking
He
about?
wasn't, look, I understand what you mean by correcting him. You're talking about when AR kept saying entailed.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah, it's but when I meant more expected,
he
I obviously meant more expected.
Yeah, he just talks like that, guys. If you understood AR.
Oh, here comes
Yeah,
the
but
tea,
why
bro.
he kept saying that he was question begging and then saying, oh, you think that necessarily means God exists when they're talking about probability?
No, but I'm saying like it's question begging in the sense that if you have a pool of things, right, that you see that are structured, right, and you're saying that you're gonna try to chalk that up to, okay, these are the things that are structured based on like right angles and all of these other shit, and the complexity of the things, right? But then there's only a small sample of the things that are known to have been designed, versus all of the things that are in
See what I mean?
question.
Frequentism versus Bayesianism. Just saying.
Huh?
I mean, it's still AR. You're still doing the same thing you were doing in the debate. He wasn't. That's not the claim he made. He said there's a particular set of things, right, that usually have this type of cause, and that's all he was saying.
That's not true either. That's not true either. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's not true.
Wait,
When you say
AR, you should debate.
usually,
Wait,
when
AR,
you
you
say
should debate.
usually, when you say usually, okay, you're trying to say that there's more of these things in the sample pool, and I just don't grant that. Huh?
No.
What do you think usually
You
means?
literally said that when
What do you
there's
think? What do you think usually
a
means?
type of thing, the
What do you think
expectation is
usually
the cause
means?
to have a
Let's clarify it right now.
What do you think usually means, bro?
That's not. Oh my god. I'm not fucking Ethan. Like, nigga, talk to him again.
Unrelated.
You're not gonna
The
get
fuck
that
you think usually means more than half. The fuck? You don't think usually means more than half? You don't think usually means more than half the times?
No.
I think there's a AR. I think there's a confusion
No,
here
everything can
about
happen one
what
time.
set of
And something
usually.
happens.
I think we should just ask AR.
I think it's usual is the average or more than the average. What are you talking about?
Is it the case that you asked for a Bayesian debate, AR?
I did, yeah.
Okay, can you give the relevant distinction between Bayesianism and frequentism?
Holy fuck! Why do you keep asking me that question? What's the
Yo,
what's the point of that question, bro?
Because that's where you're hung
question,
up.
bro?
That's literally where you're hung up. So just explain the difference.
This difference between frequentism and Bayesians, whatever the fuck. Yeah, so frequentism, it has to do with like some sort of like how often some event does occur, versus Bayesian, which is just going to be some likelihood of some event occurring based on some priors, or not based on priors, but based on some data that's being expected.
Yeah, just a quickly
Your
because
mic's bad,
everybody's giving the
Venus.
comment. Sorry, is my mic good now? Hello?
Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah, Adam Koptic, what do you think about the debate? Like, how do you think AR was talking before the debate? How do you think he's talking now? How do you think? What was your take on the debate? Like, so
I mean,
just
he
want
said-
everybody's input.
AR, you said before the debate that you would absolutely destroy him, right? Do you think he did that?
I never said I never said I would absolutely destroy. Find me
Yeah,
where I
that's
said
not what he said, bro. Come on.
I never said that. Y'all bugging.
You didn't say that.
Are you
Well, luckily, I was recording all of the pre-show shit talk.
Yeah, go ahead. Find where I said I
have like
absolutely
45 minutes of us telling you how good Ethan is, and then you denying it, and then saying we're trolling.
He didn't deny how good Ethan was, bro.
I never said that.
He was being incredulous,
You guys
bro.
all
He goes,
the
even
you
said-
guys,
I even
you guys are
said-
saying you're saying he's better than him, dear.
Yeah, he was like,
the
y'all are
reason why I
blaming
said
him
that-
too much.
the reason why I said that-
Zach, you need to understand the context of what was being said. The
Yeah.
context
Shut up.
of what was being said is
Shut up.
obviously.
Shut up.
that
Hakeem,
there's
just
no
wrap
way-
it up. Just give it up. Just give it up.
Just Marcel, I
Yeah,
need you to
just give it up.
Just let him talk.
This is
Oh my God.
this is not worth it.
Bro, you have
Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk.
No.
Yo, let him talk.
Nah, bro. I'm tired of this.
Relax.
AR, what do you think of Ethan? AR, what do you think of Ethan after having that conversation with him? Do you think he's like a great debater, or?
Yeah, I'm not. I never denied he was a bad. I never said he was a bad debater. I never. There's not one point.
What do you say?
Well, you didn't know him before,
He's
but now you know him.
obviously. What?
He's obviously a
know him
better
before.
debater than AR.
He's obviously but again, like I've debated people that I said were I admitted that were higher tier than I am, quote unquote higher tier.
Would you
than
say
I am,
he's the
right?
best debater you've had a conversation?
Which
you
is
say-
best,
I said
they're
Andrew
better
was.
than
I
like a
said
fifth
the person
grader.
I debated- The best person that I've debated. Hold on, so I could be clear. The best person that I've debated was Andy. That's the person that I say is the best debater that I've debated.
Who was it?
Huh?
Who was the best? You said what was his name?
Amdir. And I said that I even debated Amdir. I'm not scared to debate somebody who I could see that could be better, that could be a higher tier than I am. That's what I said.
But you're scared to concede a debate when you lost it, bro. That's
Venus, would you agree?
Now, I don't think this is conclusive. I don't think this debate was conclusive. What happened?
Yeah, you lost AR.
I don't think. You guys want to say I lost?
AR. You chose friction to judge the debate because you were scared that theists would be biased, and the atheists on the panel would be biased against you because we were hyping up Ethan Muse. Then, when Friction agreed to judge the debate and said that you lost, you go, I don't really know if we can really call this a loss.
First of all,
Apparently, we didn't get conclusive evidence that apparently.
You think
the
I have a
judges
genuine
were
question though to all the
you think that he proved God, bro?
Yeah,
I think he beat. Oh my God,
Do you think
we
that
were talking
winning
about
a
you
debate
winning
equals
the
proving
debate.
God?
That was the
We
context.
literally talked about this.
Holy fuck.
Context.
That was
Yeah,
literally
Bro thinks he needs to prove God to win a debate.
End for the debate.
No,
to be
that was the whole
evaluated.
point. It's
We
not about
already
winning a
explained this.
AR, do you think he needs to prove God to win a
How to win
debate?
a debate? All you
I don't think you
need
realize
is
what the
like
context was.
substance.
That's just like
I don't think you realize what the context
silly.
was. The context was there's nobody who could show that God exists, bro.
No,
That wasn't the context. You said there's nobody that can show that theism is more likely given fine tuning.
No.
Yes.
That's still showing that God exists. What the fuck?
Stop
That
lying.
does
Stop
not
lying.
show God exists,
looking
you
bad.
dumb fuck.
What the fuck? If God is more likely,
Stop
then you're
That
lying.
showing
doesn't show God exists, right?
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes or no?
Are you serious? Yes, it does.
Yes or no?
Yes, it does. It's the abductive argument for God existing. Yes.
Oh my God.
If God is the inference to the best explanation,
I
you're
have
showing
a
that God
genuine
exists.
question to all the atheists though.
I want to hear your opinion.
Why choose AR out of everyone to debate this dude?
Venus, can you share your opinions?
No,
Venus, please.
Because everybody else
Venus,
Like just Jim would have had a more interesting
Listen,
debate.
Emmanuel, it's because AR said that we were on Venus's panel, and AR goes, and I quote, "I will go, or I will, you guys put in my way," and then we started talking about theists.
I said that I would
definitely
debate anybody. Yeah, I would say I'll
Dude,
debate.
okay. First of all,
And
Sam,
then you said
you
grandmother,
would
you said
win.
she's grandmother.
AR?
I never said I would.
I-
Whoa,
I-
what?
listen,
You already claimed you would
I
win.
can repeat what happened, but I think if I'm not mistaken, right here has it all recorded. But what I said was, because it also that we're talking about like the debate tier list that Autumn made, and AR said he would crush any atheist above him
I didn't
in
say
that list.
crush. No, I did not. I didn't say crush. I said I would debate.
Or win defeat.
I
You would
said
say
debate.
defeat.
No, I said I would debate anybody.
No,
Go
no, but
back
you
to
said
recording, bro.
No.
When
You said
I
Yeah,
would-
wait, guys.
said
He
would.
meant he would debate and lose. That's all.
I never said no. I never said I would lose.
Wait.
I
I
didn't
think
say-
So you think that you would win?
Wait, AR.
That's not. I said I would debate anybody.
When
No, but
AR
hold on,
But obviously by that you meant that you would win, right?
Wait, AR.
Hold on.
No, because because afterwards I used the example that I've even debated Amdir, even though I lost that debate, I still debated Amdir LARPing
No,
as a theist.
but
It's okay if you lose a debate.
How do you guys not understand what I'm saying?
Wait,
Look,
AR,
it's okay.
AR. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's fine to lose a debate.
This is
You
what you're saying. Correct me if
just
I'm
say
wrong.
you
if this is not-
lost.
AR, correct me if I'm wrong. If this
It's
is
not.
not what you're saying.
Again, that's not
AR,
the point.
is it true that what you were saying is that on the topic of theism, that you would defeat any? Would you defeat any theist, providing any argument for theism? Is that what you were saying?
That's what he said. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm.
Yeah, I would refute the arguments that
So let's be technical. So let's be precise and technical. So you said you would on the topic of like in the tier list on the topic of specifically theism, you would crush any theist above you.
No, hold on. Don't use the word crush. I would refute the argument. I would find a problem. I would find a problem with the argument. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You would refute any atheist on above you on the tier list, and then and then I suggested no, and then you went on to make a stronger claim. You said, in fact, I would refute any theist.
No. Any
said,
theist
you
argument.
did.
No. Any God argument. Any God argument. I said. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
say
said any theist, like even those who are not.
No. I said any theist argument.
Yo, Venus. It was on your live, so you'll have the entire recording.
Yeah. You'll just look at the recording. I said that I refute any theist argument.
I'm trying to. Because
I remember what AR said, Venus.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Hatim remembers. Let's just listen to what Hatim said.
Of course you remember.
Yeah, of course. AR did say any theist above him.
Well, that's just a semantic dispute.
Any theist above him in the tier list for using any argument for theism. Obviously, he concedes that he might lose for theists above him.
Is that obvious?
Yes, he did say that.
AR, did you lose?
AR,
did you lose?
No. I'll tell you the impression.
Just listen.
Not her team defending his boy.
Just fucking listen. What AR said
was, yo, it's AR and Hatim alone, bro.
On topics other than theism, he concedes that he probably would lose to a high tier theist on topics other than theism.
On theism, let's just stick on theism. Yeah, let's just stick on theism.
Yeah, but that was when we were talking about how good Ethan was, and then we talked about a bunch of debates that Ethan had won, like against Jack, where they were arguing fill of mind.
That came later. Because here's what happens. He said that on the tier list, he would refute or whatever terminology he used any theist above him. And then he went on to make the stronger claim that not just on the tier list, but any theist ever. And then
any theist
Hold on. And then what I said. Hold on.
Yo, wait, Venus, just send me the live and I'll upload it.
Yeah. Let me just land the plane. And that's when that's when I brought in and I said, Ethan Muse, and I said, look, not you couldn't do that with Ethan Muse. And I said, you can pick any argument, like pick the worst argument for theism and have Ethan Muse run it, and you pick any judge you want, and I'll bet $1,000 you still lose the debate. That's how we got into like the Ethan Muse topic.
There we go. But he didn't do the argument that I wanted him to run.
Oh my god, AR, he did, but you didn't get to the end of the argument. You failed at the start. You failed at the start miserably.
That wasn't the argument.
I thought you already agreed. AR, I thought you already agreed that the argument could be structured to be delivered in a Bayesian way.
Yeah, and then I would have
So
reputations for that.
So if you're being like a charitable interlocutor and somebody's giving you something,
in a
If it was
Bayesian
laid out that way, if it was laid, could refute
Dude,
it.
AR doesn't even know what Bayesianism is,
Wait,
bro.
why
Like,
are we listening
I
to
do know what
Verso? Who's
Bayesian
siding
is.
with
It's
Silo?
probability of
Nobody's
A
listening
given
to
B
Verso.
equals probability of B given A times A over probability of B. Are you serious, bro?
Yo, Venus, can we get
Bayes
comments
theorem,
on your
Bayesianism.
thoughts
The
about this
relevant
debate?
distinction
That's
between
Bayes' theorem, bro.
Yeah, how
Shut
are
up. I know what I'm talking
posterior
about.
probabilities updated in Bayesianism versus frequentism? There's a distinction that you never levied.
I just told you that
This is
frequentism.
My
more
God,
cope
The
than
frequentism talked about
Dawkins.
some
Even
probability
Dawkins was
as
quit, bro.
some
Like
frequency
this is new
events.
level of cope.
Huh?
no, that's not the issue.
Don't talk, Verso.
Bro, oh my god, bro.
Oh, shut up, Hatim.
Don't talk, Verso.
Like, look, right?
Shut
My
the
whole
fuck up,
point was
Hatim.
that he said that I could pick any type of argument that we can run, right? And I said, okay, so then have him run some Bayesian argument, right? Some fine tuning argument, and using some Bayesian analysis on the
wait,
fine tuning.
why are you saying this? Because earlier you said that your whole point was that you wanted to run your recent argument that you made against him. And then you said
Made against
exactly.
him.
You said exactly. That's what I wanted to get into. And then I pointed out that when you started the debate with Ethan, you said, "All right, what's your argument for God?" And now you're saying the whole time you wanted him to give some Bayesian argument when you admitted originally that
told
you
him that,
wanted
yeah.
to run your argument.
You're so
I didn't
confused,
just
guys.
say argument
You're
for
so
God. I didn't
confused.
just say.
This
I
is
said
insane.
argument for God. Give some fine tuning argument for God, right? And then use some Bayesian reasoning.
Look, do you
That's what I said.
remember saying that Ethan could study
And
the
didn't
argument
even
that you
talk
wrote?
about the universe being fine tuned. He didn't even talk
Yes,
about that.
he could do both, Zach.
Shut up.
He was trying to do both.
Do you think
dumbass.
that? Do you remember saying that Ethan could watch the video you made on your argument and critique it and then
There's
debate
no
you?
video. What the fuck are you talking about? A video?
The fucking the most recent post you made, you stupid fuck. Be charitable.
That's not a fucking video, you dumbass.
I know it's not a video. It's a fucking slideshow
Oh
of your
my
argument,
God.
dumbass.
Why are
You said video.
I
Oh
know
my
I
God.
said video. Are you an
Oh
idiot?
shit.
Let's wrap this up. To be honest,
y'all are like 30, dude? Come on, lock in.
Like again, bro. Like I debated.
AR, do you mean that?
I
Do you
don't
remember
care
saying
to
that?
debate.
Do you
I don't
remember
care to
saying that?
debate somebody and see
Do you remember
whether or not
saying
I
that?
fall for it.
Monkey boy,
Huh?
what do you think? What do you think? What happened there, Monkey boy?
Like I'm not. My whole point was that I'm not scared to debate anybody.
what happened with
Why
what?
can't Detroit
Wait,
answer the
do you think
question I
was
asked
this
him
ever
earlier?
under contention that you were afraid to debate anyone?
Somebody was like, "You should quit now, whatever, because it's gonna be embarrassing, all this other shit." And I'm like, "Bro, like I don't give a
Nobody
fuck."
thought that you were scared. Like,
Oh, we
if
know.
anything,
You can say
you
you don't give a fuck,
Worried.
AR.
if anything,
I don't
you
care.
weren't
Like, it
informed
is what it
enough
is.
to be scared, right?
We meant
Yeah.
we would be embarrassed for you, not that you would be embarrassed.
Wait,
You're not
Detroit,
capable of
Yeah,
embarrassment.
yeah.
AR.
I'm just
Come
saying,
on.
like you
Come
guys are
on.
scared to debate him. Like I'm like, why are you scared to debate somebody? Like just fucking have
Scared
the
to debate?
You're
conversation.
scared to
Debate anything.
lose. You're scared to
I don't.
lose because you
I'm
don't
not scared to
succeed when you
lose.
I don't want to
do.
waste his time.
wait. Honestly,
I'm not scared to lose.
let's just ask
Yes,
Detroit.
you are, and
You're
you
too loud.
You think I'm
admit
Bro,
scared to lose?
defeat.
I'm not
Just
scared
shut
to
up,
lose.
Hatim. God damn.
Detroit just
Thank
never
you.
answered this question. I
A
really
team,
want Detroit.
bro.
Detroit's a busy
Go
guy,
meet
bro.
AR in
You're
person.
like
Suck his
Ethan.
dick there,
He's
nigga.
right
Damn,
here.
I'm trying to talk to him, not you. Shut up.
Who are you?
What do you mean? Who am I? Who are you, nigga?
I'm
Goddamn.
asking.
Let me talk to
I
AR.
couldn't see who was
Fuck.
talking.
Hatim, just shut up. God damn.
I saw you're
Damn, dude.
calm down, bro.
I just want to say this
yeah,
is
that's the problem.
peak glaze
Right?
from Hatim here.
AR, you need to learn.
Y'all
what
glazing fucking
this video
Ethan,
is.
bro. Like
Yeah?
all of y'all.
I just asking Detroit a question. What's so hard about that? Like you're acting like I'm asking him for $1 trillion. Calm down.
Yeah, for real. Damn.
Well, the
Jesus.
problem is, like Ethan, Detroit's a pretty busy guy. Okay,
If he's busy, why is he here listening?
because people are on Discord for like background noise and like body double type shit.
Okay, are you assuming that, or did he tell you that?
I'm assuming that since he didn't answer you the first fucking time.
Okay. Well, I think he didn't answer me because people kept over talking me.
Is it wrong to assume that?
No, it's wrong to assume that because he actually typed when I was speaking.
No, it is wrong to assume that. Nice contradiction.
Look, can we just end it? Like,
no, it's a filler word.
None of
dumbass.
this
That's what I'm
is
trying to say,
interesting.
bro. We just end this conversation.
Look.
Yeah, go back. Someone started live, please.
Yeah, we're done with this. By the way, your PFP is revolting, Pensive.
Wait,
Detroit, are you
right,
there?
right,
Oh, Seb, are you
wait,
still
right,
here?
right. Can you still change the thumbnail?
Yeah, I can if you send me one.
I did. It's in the chat. Wait, let me tell you.
It's in the chat.
There, I
Yo, what
sent
the
you the
fuck kind
thumbnail.
of fucking PSP?
I'm not changing it to that, bro.
Is that what he looks like?
Yeah, that's it. News. Yeah, he's.
Oh shit!
He mogs, bro. Wait,
Yo.
wait, but is
He
this
looks
one?
like
Wait,
he looks like Baby Jack.
is this one
That's
better?
not how
Is
he
that
looks
better?
like. Oh, yeah,
Wait,
that's
is that better
wild,
than this
bro.
one though? Is that better than this thumbnail?
That's crazy.
For sure.
Because
It's a
this one's
trillion
got
times
like
better.
Ethan Muse is like a god and AR is like a little man.
It's a trillion times better.
Yo, why? It's kind of funny that like Ethan's a PhD and like yours just like a Dominican chud, bro.
True.
That was the most random choice of an interlocutor you could have chosen for that, dude. Why didn't we
Oh
choose
yeah,
any?
do you have any
Muse
do you have any
kind of looks like
closings?
Adelstein's brother.
Like I said, yo, I'm not afraid to debate anybody. I could debate. I don't
But
give
you
a
are
fuck who
afraid.
Ethan
You are
is.
afraid to admit defeat, and that much is obvious, dude.
Yo, well,
Jesus, just say
obviously,
you
bro.
lost.
Let's finish the conclusion.
ISO.
I look forward to.
Oh my, Hakeem.
I look forward to. I look
Hakeem,
forward to
I'm
continuing
talking
the
to AR.
What the fuck
are you doing?
I look forward to.
And you respond.
I'm talking
I
to
look
you.
forward
I
to
heard you're not
continuing.
talking to me.
Shut up, Hakeem. Shut up.
Well, why are you responding to me when I'm talking to
Because I
AR? How
want
about
to,
you
nigga. I
stop?
want to.
Oh my
You
god,
gonna
dude.
stop me, nigga? Are you gonna
I'm
stop me?
talking to AR, not you, dude.
So hard to defend AR here, but it's just undefendable.
Hakeem is like that. Like AR. Are you like AR's fucking strongest soldier? Jesus.
For AR.
You're dethrowing Muse right now.
Who?
I just
I
want to
don't.
point out.
I've never even spoken to that dude.
Hakeem,
I
this
just
is the
know. I
difference.
obviously
Yo,
can
we
see
have
with
a
my
bunch
own
of
fucking
these
ears.
lasers
Come
in the fucking
on.
chat, bro.
The team. This
A
is the
lot of y'all
difference.
glazed him. OD.
Look,
Okay, Hakeem,
game
this is the
recognizes
difference.
game.
We
Alright,
all
that's
saw
a good
like
thing.
essentially the fucking Incredible Hulk versus like a baby.
Who's
And we all said, yeah, the Incredible Hulk absolutely stomped that baby. And you're over here saying, no, bro, the baby put up a good fight, bro. The baby put up a great fight.
How did I say that? Did I ever say that?
No, yes, you did.
What
Substantially, it's
word?
No,
inconclusive.
somebody else did.
Substantially,
No,
it's
that was somebody
inconclusive.
else.
Yes, you did,
That was
bro.
somebody else.
Saying it's
Somebody
substantially
else did.
inconclusive
Yeah,
when you
well,
talk
the
about
baby
evidence
was
AR
backtracked
will
from
already
the
fall
interview.
aside
Somebody
because
else
all we
did.
have the debate on is just embarrassing.
What words came out of my mouth that makes you
The
think it's
substance is
analogous?
inconclusive. It was very conclusive. AR was lost on the substance.
What
That was
words
no, I
came
was
out of
not, bro. No, I
Hey,
was not.
hey,
I was
hey.
not lost.
What words
Team, are
came
you
out of
having
my
rhetoric right now?
What
I
Hey,
already
words?
team.
repeated it. Are you fucking deaf? Do you have a tracking issue? Like,
The only time
already
that I
repeated
got
it
lost
for
in the
you.
sus is with a Turing machine.
Hey,
That's the only
don't
thing.
let James run from the question.
That's the
What
only
words?
thing was a Turing machine.
What words?
No, I already answered the question, you
I
fucking
didn't even
retard.
How can you
I
answer
already
it? What
answered
is
it.
this?
I
How can
already
you
answered your damn
What?
question.
What? I didn't even finish the question. That's how you know you didn't answer.
Oh my god, this is
Yes,
funny.
I did, bro. You said what words did you say? You said the substance was
Why are we getting
inconclusive, and that's
tight over
explained
this,
because
though?
he got
That
substantially
wasn't the end of the
dominated.
question. That wasn't the end
Yo,
of the
You got, bro. Just admit AR got
Nah, why are we
substantially
getting tight
dominated.
about
the
this?
glazing is crazy.
Seriously?
The glazing is
James,
Happy's glazing, Big
words?
Head's
Yo,
glazing.
maybe
Bro,
we
AR,
can
you're
ask AR
going
this.
with
Maybe we can ask
dialectical
AR.
blowjob.
Did you lose that
Y'all gotta
debate as
stop
gamed by the
glazing this
judge?
dude.
What
What
words?
Why y'all?
what do you think was the
What
low
words?
point of the debate?
Lasers, bro.
Trying to. You
Take
What
gotta
was
his
give
the
him
balls
an
lowest
out
out.
of
your
the low
mouth.
You gotta
points
give him
right
an
now?
out.
All right, let's go through them.
Damn.
I thought the absolute rock bottom was when he asked what a Turing machine was.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck a Turing machine is.
And then he said, I never used a Turing machine.
I never used a Turing machine, no.
Oh my God. Do you
Yeah,
use,
me neither, bro.
Do you use a computer?
Yes.
There you go. You use a Turing machine.
Also, wait. Also, and then
So a
wait. When he
computer's a
asked,
Turing machine.
what a Turing machine was, and then Emus just delicately and beautifully laid it out for him, and then AR goes, "I just looked it up."
Yeah,
like
I looked it up.
while he was explaining it to you.
Obviously,
No,
he didn't understand the
I was
explanation
hearing
he
him
gave.
explain it to me, but then I looked it
Oh,
up.
say swear. Say swear.
Say swear. Recapitulate.
This is funny, bro. Again,
Explain
bro.
it,
Oh yeah, yeah. You're just
I will
responding for the
continue.
sake of responding.
I
at
will
this point.
continue the debate. Hold on, we can continue the debate another time.
Wait,
And then
AR.
we'll see whether or not
Do you
he
agree that
concludes
you
with
lost
that.
as according to the judge?
You know what? AR, if
Okay,
you want to
fine.
continue,
Yo,
just
bro.
pay him.
I can't wait to
Just pay
see
him.
how he
It's not
concludes
that
the
hard. Stop telling us. Just pay him and continue the
I
debate.
can't
Finish it.
wait to
Record
see.
it.
I
And then
can't wait. To
post.
see,
Oh my god.
I can't wait to see how he
Pay
concludes
him,
the debate.
debate him, record it, post it. That's all you need.
You said what?
So there's gonna be a part 2.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm gonna continue. Yeah, I want to continue this conversation.
I mean, this was a classic beating.
Again, I'm gonna continue the conversation.
The meta
you have to
stuff
pay.
and the
You have to
screaming is
pay him now.
actually just trash.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think
obvious-
Ethan's
there's
gonna just like.
obviously-
not-
There's obviously
Well,
an
Jeff, we
investigation going on.
we know you like torture, right? You're like a masochist or whatever.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, because
I think
Ethan was
AR won.
accepting. Ethan was accepting $45 to debate Venus. I think once he knows it's you again, his price is going to go up.
Why would that?
Did you guys trick him to get him?
Well, he thought
they scammed.
Wait, Adam, did you actually like? One second, Adam, did you actually trick him by saying he was gonna debate me and then he showed up?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah. I
wait,
told,
wait.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I don't think. I don't think.
That's
look,
scamming,
I think
bro.
the way-
That's what
I think the way. I
That's
think the
fine.
way.
No, but
Wait.
I
When
thought
Venus
Venus
spoke to
wanted to have a
Destroyer-
conversation about fine
Adam,
tuning
aren't you
before
a
AR
Christian,
came.
bro?
Like,
What the hell?
When Venus spoke to Destroyer, I think Venus kind of like asked Destroyer to pick a side, even though Destroyer.
Let's all listen to.
Yeah,
Hakeem.
could someone?
Even
Could
though-
someone?
Even though.
Can someone shut up, Hakeem? This guy's like actually fucking annoying.
Even though.
Yo, Hakeem, shut the fuck up, bro. You're annoying.
even
No one cares.
Can somebody
Guess what?
mute
At least
Hakeem?
one person cares. Who
Hakeem,
cares if
shut
you
up.
don't think you're
Shut
good?
up.
Just shut up. I'm
Oh
talking. Is this a pet or not? Are we
Shut
not
up,
all
bro.
available to talk?
Shut up, Hakeem.
Are we not all available to talk?
Shut up, Hakeem.
Why should I listen to you?
Shut up, Hakeem.
Why should I listen to you?
Just shut up, Hakeem.
Why should I listen to you?
Shut
You
up.
can wait. You can
Why
wait. You
should I
can
listen
talk.
to you?
Hakeem, you can talk. Just go on mute, okay?
I'm talking.
You can
Don't
talk.
mute
Just,
and
just
just
go on
talk.
mute. Just go on mute.
What? Why? What's? You guys have a stick up your ass?
Shut up,
Calm
Hakeem.
down. Let's shut up.
They want
I'm
to keep
just- I'm
glazing
just
this
gonna
other
mute
guy.
myself.
Is what it is.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Just shut up.
So,
Getting a rhetorical blowjob from Hakeem right now, bro.
bro,
Like
just,
it's
I'm not, look,
bro,
I'm
bro,
trying-
He's
I'm trying-
asking
look,
how
I'm
much did
trying
you
to-
pay him, AR?
Just let me
AR,
talk.
how much did you pay him? How much did you pay him, bro?
All right, I'm just gonna mute you too. All right. As I
Yeah,
said,
debate me. Why me about
Yeah,
God?
that's really good. That was life
His
strategy.
brain cells a
Destroyer.
while.
Yeah, debate me on God, bro.
Figure that out.
Bro, AR, you
when
just got
Venus
BTFO.
was
There's no
asking
point in
Destroyer
debating
to
you.
Yeah. Didn't you get reductio? Didn't I reductio you into saying
he's
that
here.
guy's a pedo, bro?
Destroyer,
No, you didn't
Destroyer. Now
reduct
that
your
you're
shit.
here,
I just conceded
do
that
you
evil
agree
exists.
that
Every
you were
theist
asked
concede that, you
to
fucking
give
dumbass.
a decision?
No, I reducted
Yeah.
you into saying
No,
that
that's just
God
unfortunate.
prefers a
That's
world
just
where adults
unfortunate.
rape
The
children.
fact that you think that's
I'm talking to
the fact that
Destroyer
you
right
think
now.
that's
I
reductive
reducted
is
you.
unfortunate. You're low IQ.
I reducted you, yo. Come
I don't know
on,
the
stop
distinction
playing, bro.
between Bayesianism
Destroyer,
and
I'm
fucking
talking- I mean,
frequentism.
AR,
Hold on, bro.
Dumbass.
Didn't I reductio you? Did I not
No,
reductio
you didn't
you?
reductio anything.
Saying that God
Every theist
prefers
has
a
to
world.
concede that evil
AR, you don't have
exists.
to talk
Every
about a
theist
Hold
has
on,
to
no.
concede that evil
I
exists.
You're talking about a debate that didn't just happen.
Every theist
We're
has to
hold
concede
on,
that
bro.
you fucking dumbass. Every theist has to concede that. Just stop.
AR,
Every theist has to concede that you fucking
saying
dumbass. It's not a
that
reductio.
God prefers a world where adults create children, bro. That's what I
Yes,
reductio.
every theist has to
AR,
concede
stop.
that you fucking
Everybody,
dumbass.
no, they don't. No, they don't. What the fuck?
Oh my god, bro.
They're
Yes, they
trying to-
do.
An open theist, a
If he
skeptical
had
theist
some
is not
active
true.
disposition towards not that, then that world would have been instantiated, given
No,
omnipotence. You fucking
no,
dumb.
not if you hold to like not if you hold to God's
Okay,
middle.
all right. See you guys.
No,
in a
I
bit.
don't hold to
This
middle
topic,
knowledge
like,
because that negates.
I
the
know. That's why
stupid.
you concede and not a theist that holds to that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, wait,
Not
are you
all
gonna say that like
you-
a Rossolian, like fucking Ross soul is like the
Yeah, like a
picture
Ross
idea of
soul,
a
basically.
theist?
Yeah,
Dude, you're fucking
yeah.
stupid, bro. It's just bad. You just
Well,
look bad.
Russell's not scared.
Okay, well, that's not a
scared to debate
reductio. He
anybody.
can't get
to be clear.
reductio. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Dude, it's not a
We're trying to talk to
reductio.
Detroit right
I
now.
have to
It
concede
is
it's
a
not
reductio. What the
tell me my
fuck?
position, fucking
Oh my
dumbass.
god, AR.
It's a
Please.
reductio if you're saying that God is all good.
AR, just stop talking
No,
for
it's
like 10
not. You
seconds.
fucking
Yes, it
dumbass.
is.
Holy
What
shit.
the fuck? Are you
Dude, this
serious?
is that. Okay, what's
AR.
the
How is
P
that
and
not? How is that not a reductio?
what's the
bro?
P and
Oh
not
my
P?
god, bro.
Yeah, a reductio doesn't have to be a P and not P. It could be absurdity. It's
Okay,
or
so
an absurdity, a
basically you're
contradiction, or an absurdity.
You're just saying that this is a seemingly
Why are we
like so
talking
it's not even
absurd
the
claim.
so it's the EPOE, which is just fine because I just take that essentially there's some binary qualities which are ascribed to creation, and these binary qualities are they are like existent in our creation, like we satisfy these qualities, and then therefore got some sort of disposition towards any type of world like our world, and then this type of world just contains some sort of evil like that, right? So that's fine.
Yeah, and you're saying that there's a better world than a world than
Is
where
that you
adults don't
talking
create
or who
children.
is that?
Yeah, and
My
you're saying
God.
there's a better world than a world where adults don't grade children. That's crazy.
Wait, is this talking?
Yeah, it says yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Chaser.
Like there's like actually no issue there because in the no best
What?
world, the no best world objection is just solved by some sort of disposition to instantiate some world.
That's
Right?
not
That
what I
would
said. I didn't even say no
that would
best world objection.
override.
That's not what I said.
Well, that's what you're
I'm saying
levying because you're just gonna say that there's some possible world in which like
you're
these
saying
set of
there's the
binary.
best world. You're
Okay,
saying that this
bro.
is the best
Like you're not
world.
gonna let. You see, this is why I can't debate you because you don't ever let me fucking get my point out.
Why are we
Like you're
debating you
responding to a
guys?
fucking non-existent point right now because you don't know what I'm fucking.
And
saying,
now
you
you
dumb shit.
admitted that this is reductive. You admitted that this looked bad on you. You admitted it looked bad.
It might look bad, but it's not like
Yeah.
actually bad in an intellectual
It
sense.
is. It's bad.
No,
bro.
it's not.
Bad, bro. Yes, it
It's
is.
not
Yes, it
bad,
is.
bro.
Guys, let's
Why
hear
are we
what
talking
Hakeem
about
has
your
to
debate?
say about this. Go ahead, Hakeem.
There's no.
Look,
It's just gonna be
Victoria.
down his throat, bro. It's embarrassing. I don't want to hear that shit. That's why I have him turned all the way down. He's embarrassed with this fucking.
Yeah, just calm the fuck
Anyways,
down. Yeah, you need to really,
AR,
really
all I
calm
have to
down.
hold to is that this world
Why are we
satisfies
talking
some set
about?
of like
Why are we talking about
binary
Yells
qualities,
and
like
AR's debate prior?
their existing salvation,
Yo,
their
Hakeem,
existing
shut up.
clarity,
Talk about that.
etc. And then that kind of overrides the issue that you'd be
No,
levying.
hold on. Are you saying that's logically impossible?
Okay, steal man my point because apparently you know it well enough to fucking
Why are we
respond to it.
talking about Yells and AR's debate?
Please.
Yo, Hakeem.
Are you just saying that it's logically
Hakeem,
impossible for the world
why
to
are you
associate without adults grade children?
Hakeem, shut up.
No, that's not what I'm saying, AR. So how about you fucking listen to my point before
Can't God
responding?
actualize any logically possible world?
Not if it's not in accordance with
No.
his will. Not if it's not in accordance with the will. He has the power to, but that doesn't mean that his will allow to.
So he can't.
Sure, there are some worlds in the metaphysical modal scope that are not in the logical
Not
modal scope.
metaphysical. I said logically possible.
Yeah, but God exists in the metaphysical modal scope as a necessity.
Oh, so he
So
can't actualize it as logically possible.
So it would obviously constrain the metaphysical modal scope.
Yeah. So what's the argument that some world where adults don't grade children is going to violate any of those other commitments that you're saying?
Wait, that's not my position. See, you don't even know my position.
What was your position?
My
You're
position.
saying that your position. You're saying that your position is.
If you can steel man my position after I lay it out here, I will engage with you. But I'm currently walking to
Yeah,
class.
you're saying that there's some sort of virtues that God would want to instantiate, and because of those virtues that He wants to instantiate, He has to have the world this way than some other way.
No, that's not. Who is spamming the fucking? That's not my position. My position is that there's a set of worlds that like satisfy these traits that God wants to instantiate, right? These dispositional goods. Okay, so there's a set of viable worlds to instantiate. Does that make sense to you, AR?
I just said the virtues. Yeah, the dispositional goods is the same thing as the virtues.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not the case that this is the only world that satisfies these.
I never said it's the best world that satisfies it.
No, it doesn't have to be. There is no best world.
Best world. It's not the best world.
There is no best world.
Oh, so now you admit that there's no best world.
It's not. You can't quantify. You can't quantify that type of thing. But
you admitted that before, though. You admitted that's the problem. Is that you admitted that this was the best world.
You want to respond to my previous position or my position right now?
Yeah, no, I was talking about the position where I reductioed you. You said that this was the best world.
Because if I was a Calvinist or like some sort of Leibniz, like I held like a Leibnizian position, it wouldn't be a reductio. It would be an intent.
Bro, you said that this was the best possible world. Now,
okay, AR, can you respond to my position now?
Okay, so now you have a different debate. Now we could go on a different debate. What the fuck, bro?
Steel man my position,
Holy
or else I'm
shit, I
not
can't even
engaging.
hear anything,
Steel man
bro.
my position. Steel man my position, or I'm not engaging.
Yeah, again, right? I'm talking about the last conversation that we had.
Jesus Christ, are you genuinely? That has nothing to do with what I just asked.
I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about a new argument. You better get
just steel man my position. Just steal it. Steel man my position. Do it.
Yeah, last time that we talked, you said that this world was the best possible world.
You're retarded. It's bad, bro. You're fucking retarded, AR.
Are you serious? I'm talking about the last argument that we had where I
oh
said,
my God. Dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck is
AR,
the
have you
problem,
not
bro? I'm
stated
talking
like
about the
3
last
times
conversation that
that
we
he's
had.
referring to the current position that he holds and to respond to it? Oh my gosh, bro. Come on.
Holy fuck. I don't care about this position. I don't care. I was talking about the
What do
fact that
you
I
mean? That's
reducted
the
him.
debate. That's the dialectic y'all are having. What the fuck do you mean?
Holy fuck. If I wanted to
Whatever.
debate him, I'll give him a different question. I'll give him if he has a different position today, I'll give him a different question. I'm not gonna debate him about this.
Y'all are too autistic, bro.
I'm not gonna I would debate him differently if he has a different position. If he no longer holds
That's
to the
what he's
best possible
asking you
world,
to do, you dumb
if
fuck.
he, I would argue a different position. Okay. Let me ask you this then. All right, because since you're here and now since we're having this discussion, I have something for you. I got you. All right. So, do you believe that God wants everybody to
I'm
be
going to
convinced?
class, AR. I can't respond anymore. But you didn't engage for like the 15 minutes that I could.
I did, bro. The argument that I was running on you was because you thought that this
Bro,
world was the
you
best.
got my live banned because you said the R word. Oh my god. You're insane.
What?
He didn't say the R
Yeah,
word.
I said the R word. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You said the R word, bro.
What if the particle was alive?
Dude, we could have
I
honestly
got an argument for you if you don't hold to the best possible world anymore. I got a different argument for you.
Holy shit, Barcelona just scored again. Oh my god.
Because the argument that I had last time was because you did make that claim. Now, if you don't make that claim anymore, then I got a different argument. And he left, didn't he?
AR, dude.
Motherfucker, you dragged
AR,
this
I
up
don't
and you
know if
didn't go to
it's
class.
you've always been like this, but I don't know if it's a team rubbing off on you more, but you need to allow people to speak. You need to allow them to get their points across. You need to respond to their points. Don't precog whatever the fuck you think they're gonna say or whatever
What the fuck are you talking about, ISO? I
That's
was
what
talking
you
about a
oh my
conversation
god.
we had a long time ago, you dumbass.
Did you not hear what he said like 4 times?
Yeah, that he changed his position. And that's
Okay,
fine.
and to
I would have a
respond
different.
to his current position.
That's what. Literally, I have a different argument for his current position. Holy fuck, ISO. I'm not gonna run that argument. Obviously, that argument doesn't work because I'm talking about the best possible world. If he doesn't hold to that, then I have a different argument for him. Holy fuck.
AR just can't
Dude.
lose. That's what it is.
Yeah, it seems like you can't, brother. It seems like you can't admit defeat.
Oh my god. How do you not understand the point? Yo, ISO. What was my point? What was my point, ISO?
I joined late. I didn't even hear that.
Okay, so then shut the fuck up.
AR, if he first said that from his prior position,
no, he
what you were
didn't.
trying to levy as a reductio was just an entailment. Because if my understanding is he used to be a Leibnizian, right? And he held to some sort of moral obligation, moral necessity, right? So it's a different modality, different sort of scope, right? Because that's how Leibniz parses it out, as opposed to whatever the fuck you're talking about. It's just an entailment of the Leibnizian view that what you said, that's nothing fucking wrong with it.
Are you an idiot?
What are you talking about?
I was talking about a conversation. Okay. I was telling y'all that I have reductioed him before. Okay? And in the
did you hear his response?
And in the conversation that we've had before, he admitted that this world was the best possible world. And then I ran him down some absurdity based on what he said. Now, if he no longer holds to that best possible world, then I could run a different argument. Holy
AR,
fuck.
and when I just previously stated that when in terms of the conversation you just had, he said that reductio was not a reductio because it's an entailment of his view, and that he holds a different position, and to respond to him on his current position, and you keep autistically just referring to the prior conversation, do you not see that as an issue?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to debate him, but if we're going to debate, I have a different argument for him, motherfucker. I wasn't debating him. I was recalling something that was said.
Clearly, all of us aren't tracking. AR is spitting hot flames right now.
I wasn't trying to debate him. I was telling him how I reducted him the last
I know.
time.
I'm AR. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god.
You know Diff, Ethan Muse. You know Diff.
I literally said that I'm recalling something that happened before. I'm not talking about now. Now, if he wants to debate now, I could give him a different argument.
It's like there's a button on your head.
AR, that's what he asked of you. Like 3 times.
I literally, bro, he didn't ask me anything.
He just told me to come.
verbatim said, "Steelman my
told him-
current position, or I will not engage." 3 times.
I couldn't, bro. I couldn't hear over the fucking noises that people were
Then
fucking
why
playing.
didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that?
Fucking shit, bro. I didn't hear him say that shit.
Why didn't you say that?
then, man?
Why didn't I say what?
That you couldn't
Are you kidding?
Bro, if I didn't hear him, I didn't hear him, bro. What the fuck?
My God, but if
Why didn't you ask him to repeat it?
Yeah.
No, he's not saying he heard something and then he didn't understand it. He
Hakeem,
said,
shut up.
he didn't hear him at
Hakeem,
all.
shut up.
I swear to God.
Hakeem, shut up.
Why are
Hakeem,
you
shut
on this
up.
man's nuts?
Hakeem,
I
shut
literally-
up.
You guys
Oh
are
my
so
God,
stupid.
bro.
You guys don't understand what
Hakeem,
AR
shut up,
said.
bro.
Holy fuck.
Dude.
I was saying that I didn't know that he asked me a question or told me to challenge him to anything. I didn't hear that.
But you knew he
So
was
there was nothing to
speaking to you,
challenge.
right?
I didn't hear him
But
tell me to challenge him.
you knew he was speaking to you, right? And the soundboard were just overpowering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why didn't you ask him to repeat it?
I
And
didn't
say
know that he.
something- maybe say something like,
I didn't know.
"Hey, I
I didn't
couldn't
know he
hear you.
said.
The soundboards were a little bit overpowering."
Yeah, I didn't know he was saying anything of substance or new.
You didn't
No,
think he
you
was going to
just
try and say
didn't care
something of
'cause you were
substance?
precogging.
I didn't know.
AR? You just assumed that he didn't say anything substantive?
No, not at all. No.
You just said, well, since the soundboards were too loud and I couldn't hear him, I'm just
I
gonna
said,
assume
fuck
it's
it.
my turn
Yeah,
to talk.
I said fuck it. I said fuck it, yo, whatever.
That
Yeah.
goes back to my prior
That's
point,
stupid
AR, when I
bad
on the
takes,
onset of
bro.
the conversation I started with you to stop doing that, to stop precogging, because you just pigeonhole the conversation into a bunch of bullshit.
I can't believe I just got you to admit that. I can't believe you were honest.
I was just trying to make a point. Like I didn't care about like the rest of the other shit that he was trying to say.
You
I
didn't
was just
care
trying to make
about
a point.
having a conversation. Wow. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I was just
because
trying to
we
make
cared
a
about
point.
the current conversation, not the one with the fuck Yuz talking about.
Holy fuck. I was
Yo,
just trying to make a point.
Hatim. You could make it to where AR was the only one that was wrong in the room if you just stopped defending him.
What?
Then it wouldn't have to be you and AR the only ones that were wrong in the room.
Oh my god.
What do you think I said?
Yeah,
That's false?
my whole point was that he's saying that it wasn't a reductio. So I was trying to hear some of that, but he didn't give why it
Well, by
wasn't a reductio.
reductio, yeah, he was just saying that I don't care if it's like repulsive or disgusting to you or
That's the
something like that.
absurdity. That's literally the absurdity, bro.
Hey, AR, listen,
Yeah,
I think,
absurd
look,
to
I'm
you.
gonna give you an intuition pump as
That
to
is
what he's trying to say as to
absurd
why
to
it
me.
wasn't a
It's crazy.
reductio. Let's
It
say
is
you're an
absurd.
infinitist. AR, let's say you're an infinitist. And I come to you and I say, look, your view's absurd because justification goes on infinitely. Do you understand how that's just an entailment of the view of infinitism and how that's not a reductio, right? Because that's just something that you already assume within your position, right?
No shit.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
exactly what you were doing to him if you're talking about possible
what do you
worlds
think?
and moral necessity and modal collapse, and he's a Leibnizian.
Did you not understand what was the reductio that I gave him?
That kids
Oh my
rape
God,
children
bro.
in this
I heard,
world.
What was
a
the reductio that I
fragmented part of the
gave you?
conversation, but if you're
Kids
talking
rape
about a
children in this
modal,
world.
give me, okay, give me the reductio.
What was the
Give me-
reductio? What was the
give me
The
reductio that I gave you?
reductio was that kids, adults rape kids in this world.
Sorry?
That God
Yeah.
would rather a world where adults rape children versus a world where
Yeah,
that's
when we're on
Yeah,
Discord.
I mean
by the way. You
that's
can talk like an
from
adult.
a worldview in which this is the best possible world. That's just true.
Yeah, that God would rather. You guys hearing yourselves, bro? How is that an all
That's just
good
true
God?
in their view, nigga. I'm not a fucking theist.
I'm not a theist, bro.
You know what I'm saying? An all good God. Look, this is the reductio. An all good God would rather adults rape children, all else being equal. Holy fuck,
bro.
Yeah, what's the contradiction? You fucking retard. What's the contradiction? I don't understand what the point
Did
of
I
you
say
saying that is.
contradiction or I said absurdity?
Well, you're just gonna say you don't like it then, and that's where we stop the conversation.
That's the absurdity. That's what I said. The absurdity. Yeah.
Yeah, shut the fuck up then, bro. I don't know why we're talking to you. You
Yo,
absolute monkey.
again, right? Yo, so yo, who the fuck are you? Like you mad about something, bro? You okay? You got something going on in your personal life, bro? The fuck? Yo, this is not that serious.
AR, but like you understand from their
Guy's
position,
a
that's not
fucking
much
joke,
of a
bro.
that's
It's
not much of a
crazy.
reductio, man. That's not really.
That's not an all good God.
Look,
rather,
AR,
all
AR, you're supposed to give some
this is
sort of
crazy. I'm in
tension.
the God.
AR, we agree
You're
with
supposed to
you.
give some sort of tension within or friction between two like commitments that they have, and to them, that's not really a big point.
Okay, bro. If you say so. I don't
It's
see that as
not.
all good. I don't see it as a good thing. I don't know how you see it as a good
Nigga,
thing.
but why would they care? You're not them.
Yeah,
Don't
I
you
mean,
guys
why
find
would they
it
care?
forceful that
Wait,
this
Why
guy
would they
is
care?
wait,
weird?
maybe AR. Do you think that we're saying that we think it's cool that adults rape kids, and
I
it's
don't
not
see how that's
repulsive?
good. I don't see that as a better
Yeah,
world
do
than
you
a
think
world.
that we're saying we don't think it's repulsive?
Look, all right.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Do you? That's not the point that I made, right? That's not the point that I was making.
Do you
Listen to
think
my
that that's
point.
what we're saying?
No. This is the point that I'm making,
Okay.
right? He's saying that this is the best possible world, right? So that means this world is better, right? Better than a world, all else being equal, than a world where adults don't rape children.
Yeah, that's just
all else being equal.
entailment.
So that means it's good. So based on that logic, it's good to rape children. You understand that, right? You understand that's what it leads
I don't know.
to.
I don't know about that claim. I don't know how
Yes.
they'd argue that.
Yes,
No,
it
I don't know
does.
about that claim. No, I don't know
Yes,
about that
it
claim.
does.
I don't know enough to argue it because I haven't read Leibniz enough to argue that specific point. But I understand that there are contentions with that point.
It's just what he claimed when he claimed that this is the best
No,
possible world.
that's what specifically he was talking. Okay, I'm not going to argue for him, right? But
That's literally
what he
saying
was
that
talking
it's
about.
good for adults to rape children for fun, bro. That's literally
You're
what that means.
straw manning him.
That's not. No, he admitted it to it. What the fuck?
Oh, you are. Nigga,
All
you
right,
gotta
bro.
grow up, bro. Like, nigga, you're
All
30.
right, bro.
Come
All
on.
right. So you're telling me that's not the entailment?
No, it's obviously not an entailment that it's good just because it happens in the best possible world.
Given all other things equal, right? Look
Yeah,
at what we're saying.
that doesn't change that that's not an entailment. Obviously, you get that, right?
Given all that's equal, given all the things equal, there's a world. Okay,
Especially
look.
if he's positing that there is no best possible world or something like that.
Exactly. This is just like this is a comprehension. This is a comprehension issue. No, this is a comprehension issue on his part. Like I don't understand why we're sitting here explaining to him when he can't comprehend the information. Like
I could comprehend it very perfectly, right? I'm saying that I could comprehend it very perfectly,
Wait,
right?
AR,
All else being
you
equal,
changed your
all of
view? You
No,
changed
but
your view?
Well, 1 second, AI, before you go, since Quantum Foam can speak now, Sully, what do you think about the debate? What was your assessment? Because you couldn't speak earlier.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a debate. You know, I think if we have to pick a winner, it's Ethan. But it was a lecture. It was
Thank
just
you,
Ethan
bro.
giving a lecture.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Wait, did you say thank you for that?
What the fuck did he teach you about
That's what
Turing
I've been trying
machines?
to say this whole time. It wasn't a debate at all. It's inconclusive.
You're
Bro,
saying thank
Hakeem,
you
that's
that
not
it's
what
a
he meant.
like that
You
you're.
can't track the critique.
He thinks it's a lecture.
Quantum Foam said
Hakeem, are you
if
that
we have
slow?
to choose a decision.
That's crazy. What the fuck did he teach you?
Hakeem, he's saying that Ethan took AR to school.
You don't think I think
He
that?
didn't teach me shit. What the fuck he teach me?
Oh
You
my
think
God,
that,
AR.
Hakeem? Hakeem,
Wow.
you think that Ethan took AR to
Energy
school?
level is extreme
look,
here.
Hey, look, Zach.
He didn't teach me shit.
I don't think this is disputed that for most of the debate, it was Ethan explaining something to AR.
Yeah, and you think you think that people can just get away with coming into a debate without knowing anything?
What do you mean get away? What do you mean get away?
Oh my God, shut up, Hakeem. Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
in just the normal way that people mean.
I don't know what you mean.
Like maybe
Yeah,
there
you're too
aren't
autistic to know
consequences
that.
for X.
Say that again.
There aren't consequences.
Do I think there's consequences for AR not knowing stuff in the debate? Of course I do.
Okay, what might the relevant consequences might be in a debate?
That he would have to take more time to understand the debate. Maybe it would look bad to other people.
And then who's judging the debate? Other people?
Well, in this context, Detroyer is.
Yeah, Detroyer's another person.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right?
Wait. Wait.
I understand.
Just
Look,
be here
Zach,
with me.
I know.
Just
I
be
get
here
the
with
point
me.
you're making. I don't disagree with the point you're making.
Just be here with me.
I already
Be
get
here
the
with
point
me.
you're making. I don't disagree with the point
So
you're
you
making.
agree AR lost?
No. I mean, yes,
You
in a
just-
way
you just
you're
have-
talking. Yes, in a way
you
you're
just have-
talking about. Yes, in
You
a
just
way
have
you're talking.
okay.
Yes, in a way you're talking about. But the whole point of the context of this debate was to exclude rhetoric from being as a cause for
The only
winning.
person who did rhetoric was AR.
We're not by rhetoric. I'm just talking about how somebody sounds. Well, we're not necessarily Like
like their eloquence.
Yes.
He used academical terms,
Ethan's
you
more
dumb fuck.
eloquent. Obviously, Ethan's more
Nobody.
concise.
Yeah, you're not using eloquence when you talk about like math terms in a calculus debate, and somebody's asking you about addition operators.
We could even say maybe even Ethan knows more about whatever given subject. That's fine. The point, I think,
is a debate kind of like a knowledge game, and like a reason giving game.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so you already admit that he lost on the knowledge. You think he won on the giving reasons part?
No, I think. Look, here's the thing. I'm trying to give you the context before you keep interjecting. The context that I understand.
Okay, I won't interject. Go ahead.
The context that I understand.
Go uninterrupted. You got it.
Yeah, I appreciate
Stop interjecting.
that. I appreciate that. I actually appreciate Zach for interjecting that he wouldn't interject. I think that. Now, the context that I understand from, and I think AR
I'm serious, Zach.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, the context that I understand and AR understands. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, the context that
Zach, can you just stop interrupting,
Even
please?
laughing is interjecting. Stop it.
Thank you. So the context that I understand and AR understands is that the substance of the debate is obvious.
Yo, stop interrupting. Stop.
Thank you, Koji. I really appreciate that.
Okay, that's sort of disrespectful. Please don't interrupt.
Thank you, Steph. I appreciate that.
I was just trying to say we should stop interrupting. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want Hatim to say I appreciate that right now.
Thank you.
You don't know what you're doing, Kata.
Do we have any predictions about how much longer this is going to go on for? Or?
Yeah.
Any longer. There's no point in engaging with Hatim. He's literally a complete retard. I don't even know why people take him seriously.
I think we'll probably all leave soon, but AR and Hatim will be talking about this for weeks.
Why is it so hard for you guys to just listen?
They're gonna be kissing themselves in bed and like talking how AR
just listen.
cooked Ethan.
Look, nobody's interested in this like Chicken Little story where if the little guy just has enough prep time, then maybe he can beat Andre the fucking the David and Goliath story. No, like
Andre 3000.
Yeah, Andre 3000 and the Giant.
What's the Chicken Little story after you?
Zach, I'm trying to explain to you that the context of the debate that AR agreed to debate on.
I'm trying to explain to you I hate underdogs. I hate them.
Oh, they're pretty cool.
You realize Ethan came in here with literally nothing in terms of context, right? Like he knew nothing about what was going on when he came here.
It was disgusting.
These guys don't care.
People who dominate in their chosen field or industry
of them already
deserve to win.
Anyway. So this is not something surprising that they're glazing him now. Like they already were glazing him before the debate.
I just wanted to ask.
Anyways, when will these two stop? Like
Quantum, I think Quantum made the most sense in his like. I think Detroyer, if he didn't have to choose it as a winner, right?
This is like the fifth time you said this.
Yeah.
Maybe
Quantum was just saying what Detroyer might have said if Detroyer was a little bit more, free and loose with his language. Quantum was like, it wasn't even a debate. AR was getting cooked. He was getting schooled. He was getting paid.
There was nothing about the debate that proves God, bro. Like, what the fuck is your problem?
You literally were getting
oh my god!
How arguments go.
Bro thinks somebody has to prove God to win a debate.
The whole point that we were having was like nobody could actually justify theism.
The whole point was like you couldn't even understand the terms. You couldn't understand his point. He was explaining all of that.
What point do you think
Jesus Christ. How much longer are you guys going to try to engage with these people? It's completely pointless.
Name an atheist that you think has lost a debate. Name an atheist you think has lost a debate.
I don't know an atheist that lost a debate.
I actually don't think
you don't know an atheist that you think has lost a debate.
Zach, I've talked with.
I don't really watch that many.
Before. AR cannot admit that any atheist has lost to a theist.
Well, I guess if your standard of winning, if your standard of atheist winning is a theist,
then you can't.
Wait 1 second. If your standard of a theist winning a debate is a theist proving God to you, then I could see why you're that close-mindedness would lead you to that conclusion. But it just sucks.
Yeah, that's
it doesn't.
I'm just asking the opposite question to see if it's biased. Like, has he seen a theist win or lose a debate before? Have you seen?
Oh yeah, name an example of a theist that you've seen lose a debate.
Yeah, I don't like.
I mean,
you can't take
wait. bringing up winning or losing is just kind of pointless in your eyes, huh? If you either have to prove God or prove that God doesn't exist.
I mean, I've
what
watched.
the
It
fuck's
depends
the
on
point?
like what caliber are we talking about? Are we talking about like
Their
on
own
TikTok? Or are we talking about like
Anywhere.
In general, AR.
Do you think that like K has ever lost a debate on theism?
I never heard K debate theism. I heard him debate meta
J
ethics.
Rob, do you think like J Rob?
Listen, I'll just
right. Do you think J Rob's ever lost a debate on theism?
I've lost a debate on theism.
Wait, when you
lost
when
against-
you reductioed, yeah, do you think yeah lost right there?
But I think y'all lost when I reducted him the
Okay,
first
so
time.
you don't have to disprove God to win, right?
That was disproving his God. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you
AR,
mean?
wait, I just want to make clear.
He doesn't believe.
I just want
Oh
to
my
make clear.
god, you're crazy, bro. You're crazy.
What the fuck are you talking about,
I'm
bro?
just gonna
I
go
just
ahead
want to
and
make clear,
flag.
AR.
Go ahead
I
and
just
flag
really
this
want to
guy's
make this
actually
clear.
retarded.
You said in terms of you losing or winning a debate, it means that they have.
Yeah.
It means that they have to prove to you.
They have to give a
Prove to
successful
you. Wait, hold on,
argument.
AR. Just to be clear, they have
Yeah.
to prove to you and make you change your mind about theism. Right?
No. I didn't say that. I said make a successful argument for God.
And what does that mean?
A successful argument for God?
Mhm.
Some argument that raises the probability of the proposition to be above 50%.
You think that, and you think you've never encountered a theist who's been able to do that against you?
No, otherwise I would be a theist.
Oh my god, bro!
What the
Wait,
fuck?
AR,
I
how
would
did
be a
you
theist.
disprove God? Wait, AR,
If
how
you
does what
give me
you
an
did
argument for
disprove
God that
You're
raises the
hubris.
probability of the proposition of God existing being above 50%, I would literally
Wait,
come and
someone
prove
asked
If that
AR how
argument
does
was standing
reductio
right in
disprove
front of you,
God?
you wouldn't even be able to identify it. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
complete bullshit.
Yeah, okay.
Wait,
All right.
also
Didn't
AR,
say-
how does your quote unquote reductio disprove God? Please go ahead.
No, your God, right? Because you're saying that
Jesus
your
Christ, just
God is all
explain how it
good.
does.
You're saying that God, your God is all good. In order for God to be all good, then He wouldn't want some world.
Wait, it's just gonna be an immediate question back on my position. Okay, so you didn't disprove shit. You're low IQ.
Yeah, okay, all right. You didn't even let me finish, but all right.
Wait, what was his name? Fuck, I forgot
Wait,
his
did
name.
I miss a micro debate?
Yo, is that Venus?
Yeah, what's up?
Yep.
Yeah, what's up?
No, it's good. Yo, Solly, what's that guy from Clubhouse called? The atheist, new atheist guy that's always in Andrew's room?
Abe or CM.
Yeah, doesn't AR remind you of Abe?
A little bit, yeah.
Is he Dominican?
Nah, Abe is a white dude as far as I know.
Oh shit! Never mind.
AR, is it a reductio?
Wow.
Your position?
Wait, Himothy, did you watch the debate? Or were you
Yo,
like in and
if
out?
you're here, I could actually talk to you about the argument that I have. Let's see how you
I
do.
asked to step out of
Let's see
class
how
for
you
a second.
do.
I'll
Huh?
discuss this first. I asked to step out of class for a second, so I have a little bit. Let's talk.
Okay. Great.
I don't
We
think
got
that's
it.
enough time.
But wait,
All right. You think what happens to an atheist?
Wait, really
What happens?
quick.
Hold on.
I
What
just
happens
want
to
to
an
go ahead and
atheist?
flag. Wait,
What happens to
I
an
actually want to go
atheist?
ahead and flag. I want to go ahead and flag that you said that your reductio disproved my God. I want to
Oh
know
no. Forget about that. Let's actually have
No.
an
That's
argument.
what I want to flag and focus on. That's what you
Yo,
wanted
forget about
to
that.
focus
Oh
on earlier,
no.
right? So let's
Come on,
talk
let me
about
just
it.
give the
Let's
argument.
talk about it. How
Forget
did it
about
disprove
it.
my God?
Oh
How did
my
it
god,
disprove
now
my
he's running.
God?
Now he's running.
Explain the disproof. I'll talk to
He's
you about
running.
my
He's running, bro.
explain the
He's
disproof
running.
really quick.
Let me just
If you
give the
explain the
argument.
disproof
Let me
really
just
quick.
give the argument, bro. Let me give the
Explain the
argument.
disproof
How
really
is he
quick.
running when
Let me
he's
give the argument
asking you
already.
to
Hold on.
prove the claim that you made?
Can
What
I?
are you
Yeah,
talking
you
about?
made a claim. Establish how it's true.
Holy shit, bro. About
Do
what?
it.
Yeah,
Establish how it's
establish
true.
how you
All
disproved
right,
his God. Go
cool.
ahead.
What's the definition of God being all good? Like, what does it mean for God to be all good?
I'm a
You
apathetic.
don't need to answer questions, yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
all right.
just
You
go
said
ahead
that.
and
Okay, just
go
to
ahead
put
and
yeah. Okay,
establish.
so you said
Go ahead and
that.
establish your
Said that.
claim.
Okay, you said that at one point. You said that this world is the best possible world. Okay,
That was
and then I
Levin's
asked
position.
you.
Yes.
And then I asked you. You didn't say that. That's not what you said before. But all right.
Yes, it
And then I
was.
asked you.
I
That's
was.
not
I
what you're
literally.
adding extra
That's
shit. That's
how
not what you
Leibniz
said. You
got
said
to
this
modal
world.
collapse. You fucking dumbass. Just explain. Look, stop doing all this like meta gibberish. Just talk. How did you disprove my God? I want the P and not P.
Yeah. So again, right? You're saying that God is all good, and then He's not all good. It's P and not P, bro.
Wait, how is he not all good?
Yeah. So again, right? When you said that God is all good, what I take that to be is that He doesn't want unnecessary evil in the world. Correct?
How would like for example, how would you respond to a skeptical theist position then?
Oh, but that's not. You're talking about a different claim now. I'm talking about you. You
Wait,
said that
the
this
skeptical
world,
theist can
God
hold to this being the
actualized the
best. Wait,
best possible world.
dude, AR,
Holy
shut up. The
fuck,
skeptical
bro.
theist can hold to it being the best of all possible world, and we could just be agnostic as to the reasons that justify these evils. So they'd be necessary
That's not
insofar as
what
they
you
justify
held to.
greater
You
good.
weren't holding to skeptical theism, bro.
I
You weren't
fucking
holding
held
to
to it.
that.
Dude, if Sage were here,
You
he could
weren't
tell you
hold.
when I
You
first
weren't
started
hold.
debating, I held to skeptical theism.
You weren't holding. You were holding to skeptical theism before.
I've always held to skeptical theism. I don't think we can comment on the reasons God has for instantiating this world. We can't make any necessary claim because God's rationality is a mystery to us because we are epistemically limited.
Do you believe in unnecessary evil?
No, obviously not.
So wouldn't that mean that everything that you do, every
And
action
from
that
the
you take is every
Leibniz
day?
position, yeah.
So
Yes, of
wouldn't
course
that
I
mean that
wouldn't
every
believe there's
action that you
unnecessary
take,
evil.
so every action that you do is good, correct?
Pro toto, yeah.
Yeah. So the smaller cost was good pro toto.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
What's
Bro.
the P and not P, AR? If there's good
Crazy.
reasons that God
That's an
has for that.
absurd. That's not even.
Wait,
bro.
are you saying
It's
that
crazy.
you have access to like God's rationality from that perspective, and then you can disprove that God had good reasons for instantiating that
It's
rather than
crazy.
not?
You're saying that
Yes
the
or no? Do
Holocaust
you
was a
have
good. You're saying that the Holocaust was a good thing that happened.
I'm saying it could lead to a greater good.
Does that disprove God?
Which
AR,
means you
yes
That
or
means
no?
it's good. No, it leads to a greater good. It means it's good, bro.
And by the way, there are different.
Like a
There's a
vaccine
difference
to a
between
baby. Like a
pro
vaccine to the
tanto
baby
and
is
pro toto.
good.
Wait, can you explain the
A
difference
vaccine
between
to the
pro
baby.
tanto and pro
How
toto?
does that disprove God? That's your
AR,
talk,
explain the difference
AR.
between pro tanto and pro toto.
No, it just proves they're all good, God. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you're so retarded. Explain the difference between
Yeah,
pro tanto
unnecessary
and pro
evil.
toto.
Yeah, pro toto is just gonna mean that that overall is gonna be some good that's done there.
Pro tanto?
That's gonna be, and then pro tanto is just gonna be some good. What the fuck is pro tanto?
Okay, so you don't even know the type of discourse
Pro
that we would be
tanto is
having
good. Pro tanto.
index to this particular thing. So look, I'll give a different sort of like theodicy. Now we can talk about my current position. You want to do that?
Let's talk. Okay,
Wait,
great.
you're talking about pro torta versus
Now that we're
anti
moving on,
torta?
I got an argument for you. I don't run for the argument.
Wait, yeah, AR, what's your response to Monkey Boy's objection?
One moment.
Monkey Boy, this is what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What?
The pro torta objection.
What's the pro? Bro, why are you guys doing this to me, bro? Like, you obviously like read more than I have. Like when you say pro tort.
No, wait, what?
You've never heard of the pro torta? The pro torta?
Nah, that's crazy.
Bro,
AR.
What the fuck is a pro
Yo,
torta?
it's rock, bro.
Oh my god, AR doesn't know something.
Let that be
That's
stated.
crazy.
That's on the
All of you guys
record.
know
Yo,
AR.
he
That's on
asked
the
you what the
record.
fuck.
AR is
Pro
pro
torta
torta.
means like yo, AR, you know what the pro tornado? What a pro tornado evil is?
What the fuck is a pro? Are you guys like fucking trolling, bro? Like what the fuck?
My God, dude!
No shit.
Their comprehension levels are
Wait,
so
right here.
It's made.
hold on.
Here's a hint. It's
we've
made by a
established-
famous.
I know what you said. You said
Mexican
a pro
female
torta.
philosopher.
You said a pro
Okay,
torta.
wait.
You guys say with the English accent. They didn't understand that you guys said torta. I understand
right
now. It's a fucking
here.
joke. I get it.
I have a question.
Philosophers are
What's up, Venus?
pathetic.
I get it, bro,
Wait,
guys. I get it.
What's up, Venus?
Ha ha ha. Y'all funny, bro.
What's up, Venus?
Okay.
Torta is like fat Mexican chicks.
I know what a
think, but,
torta is. I know it's the ones. I know what a torta is. Like it's a
Okay,
fat.
can we get
I know
back
what
to
a torta is.
you didn't in your video you didn't have the 40 minutes where AR was like talking shit that is gonna destroy.
No, obviously I'm not gonna upload that in the same video where the debate is. I can upload that later.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was hoping
You're
that
gonna
you would.
see that I didn't say I'm gonna destroy.
I was hoping that you would just send me the lot.
Okay, how do I send you? But you have the record. You still have.
Yeah, I want to see where it says I'm gonna.
I have it. Yeah.
Okay, AR, is it
So
possible?
upload the 40-minute shit. Wait, upload the 40-minute shit talk, and also make another video where AR is talking like mad shit, and then like.
Good luck. I'm not gonna find.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna do
You're not
that.
gonna find me saying that.
I'm not gonna do that. My channel's pretty low effort, so.
Okay, AR. Do you think that there's a contradiction in saying that God has good reasons for instantiating this universe?
So what?
Do you think there's a contradiction in saying that God has some reasons for instantiating this universe?
That God has some reason?
Yes.
Right. Make sure you have some kind of advanced.
There's no contradiction
effect.
in saying that there's a reason for
Okay, so then you didn't reductio or negate. The most you did was the probability. You didn't reductio my position. Now that we've established, you didn't reductio my past position. Let's talk about my current position.
You guys are equivocating on reductio, obviously.
Yeah, OD, obviously. We're talking about absurdity.
Reductio is just going to be establishing.
We're talking about absurdity.
Reductio is just going to be establishing that something is false, given an entailment of it is like absurd. Right? So, given that he said that there's no contradiction from what I said, there would be no entailed absurdity. Right? So, now I just want to move on to my current position because I don't have forever. Right? I have like 5-10 more minutes.
You're not gonna let me run my argument on you. This guy's gonna run, bro. He's not gonna let me run.
Wait, what argument are you gonna run? What argument are you?
Let me run the argument then. Possibly.
Okay, go ahead. Run your argument. Run your argument.
Holy fuck!
Run your argument.
Do you agree that God wants everybody to be persuaded of His existence?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Can we move on now?
All right. So I got another one. No, I got another argument for you.
Okay.
Right,
Yo,
so,
that argument failed.
It requires.
You were gonna do if God exists, I know it. I don't know it, therefore not God.
Actually, there's something more interesting that I want to. Since we're here,
that was supposed to be no.
Wait,
it was
is
supposed
Venus
to be
here?
Christian.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I want you to talk with this "we out here" guy.
Who?
Where is he?
There's a guy named "we out here," and he says that he has an impressive argument for God.
Oh, this guy.
I think the Troy wants to really talk to him. So the Troy, you can talk to him. Go ahead, the Troy. But actually, no.
Just letting you know.
1 second. Who's the guy who wants to debate for theism?
We out here.
Yo, we out here. Are you there? We out here. Are we out
Is
here?
he not out here or yeah?
We
Is that
out
a fruit
here.
basket?
We out here. Wake up.
I'm right here.
I don't think he's here, guys.
He's not here.
Yeah, he's not here.
His name's AR.
Yeah, his name's kind of misleading.
Wait, where is we out here?
There he is.
He's here.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wait. Sully, you talk to this guy, Sully.
No.
Yeah. So just give your argument
Sully,
to
the people
confirm.
want. Right.
No, Sully, you're not working now, Sully. So just talk to this guy.
I know. I'm going through a tunnel though.
That's fine. You
my
can
audio is bad.
reply when
Let me get some headphones so there's no.
Yeah. We out here. You give your argument, and Sully's gonna respond to it once he comes out of the tunnel. What's your argument?
1 second.
Your audio is pretty bad. We could barely hear you.
I'm sorry.
You got duty. Or sorry, Dookie.
My argument.
Okay, I assume that we're good here. I'm gonna go back to class now.
No.
Go study, Papa.
Holy fuck.
I'm so glad I ended this. Is he here though, or is we out here?
We out here is here.
Talk with some, maybe even talk with Josh, Venus, Sully, Detroit, or someone.
Okay.
Yeah, you said
Wait,
you get an argument.
We out
right?
here. Do you have the argument?
My point is that I don't. It's not really an argument. I guess I'm just confused. Is that
you said it was a syllogism?
I had a syllogism, but then you said it wasn't good.
Okay, yeah, just give the syllogism you have.
It's fine. Just give the syllogism.
The purpose. It's that I don't understand what it means for a mind to not be contingent. So I don't think there can be a God.
Wait, I thought you were gonna argue that God exists.
Yeah, you had a syllogism for the existence of God.
No, it was for that minds can't be fundamental.
Oh, okay. So you don't believe in God.
What the hell?
I don't believe. I don't see how it's a coherent concept.
Not true.
What were you looking at?
Read an argument so badly that Monkey Boy was confused.
Well, I mean, Monkey Boy.
That's just not true. You gave an argument for the existence of God.
No, I think that my microphone, because it was acting, my phone was.
No, on the TikTok live, the background was I'm an
Here,
atheist.
do you want me to post the syllogism? Do you want me to post the syllogism in the God Debate channel?
Yeah, you were even in my YouTube comment section saying that you don't understand why my syllogism.
Did you ban me from the YouTube, by the way? Did you ban me from the comment? Did you delete my comment?
Yeah, I did actually.
Hey, you did do that. What the hell was that shit? Whatever.
Yeah, what the hell was that shit, Monkey Boy?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Now you're always moderating.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear that crap, so I just took it away.
Whatever. Here, let me post the
Where's the theist? Wait, where's the theist guy, Monkey Boy? You got us all excited.
Yeah, I'm just gonna paste. I'll paste the whole syllogism.
This
Yeah,
doesn't.
wait, you
this
stopped.
doesn't add
You
up.
stopped. You stopped. Systematically destroying AR for this
Yeah,
guy.
but that was kind of trash, anyways. And you gotta get to class.
Wait, but AR said, "Are you gonna run from my argument?" Yo said, "Let's hear it," and he goes,
But 1 second.
"You think God wants everybody to know He
Don't worry.
exists?" And then and then Yo said, "No."
No.
How many people became like theists today because of that discussion with Muse?
I did.
Anybody?
I did for sure.
I just had my fucking sacrament.
I'm considering it at this
I
point.
think I'm gonna go to mass this.
Yeah, I'm already a catechumen right
Well,
now.
Joe
guys.
Schmidt was already agnostic. Now he's.
Yeah, I'm about to take my shahada.
F's in the chat.
Yeah, I don't think that was a magic trick anymore, Venus.
I think you went the wrong way.
Argument's so powerful, it's got to change religion.
Dude, that was honestly horrible, dude. Holy shit.
The only thing that I found funny was just how hard fucking a team is trying to defend.
Oh my god! X.
Yeah,
Wait,
that
X.
is
X.
Yeah.
X.
Yo,
are you
yeah,
there?
you universalist?
Wait, X.
No,
Are
I
you the
think
X
AR
from like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I think AR won the debate.
What's up, Venus?
Are you
Oh my god!
universalist?
I haven't
won the
seen you in
debate.
forever. How you been?
I've been busy, man. How you doing? I thought that
I'm
we
doing
would
great.
eventually hear Detroyer talk to Ethan or somebody, but he was just judging the thing, so it didn't turn out very
Yeah.
good.
Did you listen to the debate between Ethan and AR?
I was here only for the end of it, mostly just
Oh,
people
okay.
complaining. Yeah. But I heard Detroyer's summary, and he basically said
Oh,
that.
I know what I'm gonna pay Ethan $40 for. It's gonna be Zaytoon debate between him and Quantum Foam, because
No way. No way.
because you think it's a Chinese, you think it's like a finger trick, you think it's like just some kind of a hoax. So
Yeah,
that
but
would be-
Ethan's miracle research is like too much for me to combat, dude. Like I'm not gonna do that level of work. Dude.
And have Josh do it. Josh is willing.
Wait, are you saying that Ethan has some kind of like insurmountable
No, yeah, you
pile of
are.
evidence that miracles exist, or what are we talking about?
Well, he
Yeah,
does.
like
he had a Substack. Well, he had multiple Substack
It
posts
was like
about
48 pages.
Yeah, and I assume he's got a bunch up his sleeve about Zaytoon too.
But you know what's funny, Sully, is that Capturing Christianity made a video on Ethan Muse's Substack article.
Oh, really? Yeah, that is fun.
Yeah, X, would you be willing to debate? You can debate this guy on the Shroud, on Zaytoon, or on Fatima, and he'll like completely blow you out of mind.
What is Zaytoon? I'm not familiar with the Zaytoon.
Zaytoon is the Mary apparition in Egypt in 1967.
I thought Zaytoon was olives.
Well, I think
That's
probably
where
the
they come from.
church. I think the church.
I mean, the only
probably
one of those three that I know about is Turin, and with Turin, there's like two completely independent ways of reproducing Turin with a pinhole. One is with a plate with a mask, and the other is just with reflections off of a statue onto linen. Both reproduce like almost exactly the physical properties of the shroud, and then all of the other properties.
He has a refutation of that. He knows that paper. He knows every paper written on the shroud. Like he knows.
Well,
the
here's
full-
the problem.
He also knows
James-
future papers.
Okay, so yeah, he's precognizant. So James fucking Tabor, aka the like preeminent biblical archaeologist, who actually has found a 1st century shroud from an actual 1st century burial in actual Jerusalem, not a fake one, is in a position, and who has like physical in his office, like physical remains of actual crucifixion victims from the time period. Did an extensive interview and extensive videos about this. All of the physical evidence points against it being authentic. It's not correct for crucifixions at the time. They were done through the palm, not through the wrist, because they sat in stirrups. At the feet, they didn't need the wrist to hold them up, and they would have died within like too quick of a time if it was through the wrists. The whole point was to like torture them,
Wait.
and die slowly.
Eaton has like
The
a reply to
the stigmata are through the hands, though. You know that, right? Usually, people say the opposite, which is like, oh, they would have been through the wrist.
No, the wrist would kill them too quickly. That's not how it was done. And the
the point is that the stigmata, the markings are on the hands, though.
Yeah.
No, but you should.
You're saying that's the master.
Yeah, like next time he's around, I'll have you debating mix on the Shroud.
Like,
and you can.
I'm not an expert on the Shroud. I'm just saying I've seen from Tabor someone who actually is like an archaeologist and a historian of the actual crucifixion and actual burial remains. Every single point that the whatever they call themselves, the like shroudists. There's like a word for their field they came up with, like a fake science term for it. But their criterion are all rejected by Tabor. And
you said what was the name of the shroud you said that was found?
Turin, the one that Tabor found from the 1st century, like he talks about and he shows stuff from, is an actual example from the time period. The weave is different, the design is different. Like, first of all, the shrouds covered the entire body like a wrap.
No, I'm saying, do you know the name of that particular shroud that you're comparing it to?
We're comparing to the Shroud of Turin.
No, I'm saying, what are you comparing? Like, what is the name of the
one that Tabor found doesn't have a fancy name because Christians didn't latch onto it, right? It's just, you can look up James Tabor. If anyone wants to see the video, I'll post it right now. But the Shroud of Turin to me seems like it's fairly conclusively addressed by people who know much more on the subject than these like wannabe like fake shroud
I think
scientists.
the term you're looking for is syndonologists, I think they're called.
Yeah, thank you. They have a whole word for it. It's great.
You said James Tabor?
But like some
I'll
of
post this video.
No, but they're not like hacks. Like there are serious syndonologists. Like John Jackson is
They're serious
one,
about it. I just don't think it should be taken seriously.
No, I mean they were some of the experts who did the 1987 carbon dating. Like some of them are actually later turned out to be like convinced that the shroud was authentic, and they are like syndonologists.
So I'm
not saying someone's an idiot for buying into it, because the artifact is very interesting. I'm just saying that once people reproduced it with 2 completely different pinhole methods, both of which were available at the time and were being studied at the time and when I say at the time, I mean the time that it's radiocarbon dated to. So it's radiocarbon dated to the time period after which these pinhole methods have been experimented with. Here's a link to James Tabor.
I'm looking at it, but it's not a crucifixion shroud. It looks like it's saying that somebody who died from leprosy.
What do you mean a crucifixion shroud? They don't put shrouds on people while they crucify them. The point is the shroud that he found is what an actual shroud from that time period looks like. The Shroud of Turin has no physical characteristics in common with it other than being linen, right?
Other than being like real.
So the markings on the shroud, he also goes through that, have a bunch of problems with them. But the bottom line is the whole idea that it's like a negative photo style image and that it has like 3-dimensional lighting properties. All of that is reproduced by just having light bounce off of a statue through a pinhole to a piece of linen on the other side for about 3 days. You get the same number of fibril penetration burns, like 3 to 5 layers deep. You can do everything about the shroud on a piece of linen through a pinhole bouncing off of a statue or through a plate with the mask. Both of which have been demonstrated, and there's like physical copies that you can examine. So it just seems like A, it's radiocarbon dated to a much later period, and B, the techniques available at that period are likely the ones that were used to produce it. But anyway, has Detroit or anybody actually debated this Ethan guy on fine tuning? Because I think Detroiter's videos on the subject were pretty good.
Yeah, he has 2 good videos, but I would want to see Solly, since you think it's a Chinese trick, you debate it with Date Muse.
I mean, I'd have to do so much prep work for that. I don't.
Since you were like, yeah, it's just like you just do like a bunch of candles, and then you get like a paper head, and then you'll get the apparition.
Well, look, I mean, I do think that it's probably some kind of hoax like that. Yeah. I don't find all of like the witness testimony accounts like realistic or reliable. Like I'm not gonna just take those for granted. Like they don't.
Yeah, but how do you explain that they're independent and they're from people of different faiths, all reporting the same experience and all being like healed, and there's like no corroboration between them?
They're not all healed. There's like, you have like a whole bunch of people who are hearing about this and going there, and it happens over the course of something like 3 years or something, right? And it's like, people are hearing about it. Sick people go there, hoping to be healed. I'm sure the vast majority of them are not in fact healed, and you get a handful of like medical events.
Oh my God, Sully, is there any evidence you wouldn't accept? Jesus.
No, but the thing is, Sully,
you just want to sin.
Sully, so if it was like a bunch of Coptic Christians, I get your point, but these are like Muslims who'd have like all the reason not to want to be like healed and stuff.
Well, they obviously want to be healed if they're sick. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters what
Not by
there.
Jesus.
Not by Jesus.
They'd rather die than be healed by Jesus.
I don't know. I'd have to dig into it, man, because I tend to suspect like the reports of the Muslim witnesses are being sort of, twisted a bit potentially. I mean, this is all stuff I would have to like dig into the details of.
Yeah, but it's like it's not like hearsay. It's not like some guy saying like it's like the Muslims being interviewed by the newspaper directly, and the Muslims were like, yeah, I had like a tumor and I saw the Blessed Virgin, and then the next day when I went to the doctors, they said your tumor is no longer there. We have like no idea what's going on. And then you have another guy, the first guy who actually saw the apparition and called the police and was like, some woman is on the top of the church, she's suicidal. His finger was gonna get cut off because I don't know, he had like damaged himself at work. And him, like, when he went to get amputated, they were like, oh, we don't need to cut your finger anymore, it's been healed for some reason. And these are like independent of each other, and you have like a number of these testimonies. Like what? How do you explain that? Do you just say like these people are all just like talking shit, even though they're like Muslims and they have like no?
I mean, I told you. I think like when it comes to the healing events, like I think that there are cases of spontaneous remission of tumors and tumors disappearing, and this is actually something that happens. And you'd have to look at like how many people went there with tumors that weren't healed, and like, oh, we got one guy who had remission. Again, it seems like you're counting the hits, So to me, it's something like, okay, it's not that crazy that a tumor disappears because we know that happens, right? Like it's not. Obviously, you don't bet on it if you have a tumor, but it happens,
I mean, I get that point. It'd just be nice if there was like some kind of like a naturalistic explanation for all the data. But I guess you want to say that Muslims are all just like talking shit about what they saw.
No, I'd have to look at where the actual reports are coming from and who's making them and so forth. And then look, there's also, I mean, basically, I think that the apparition is like a hoax. So there are going to be people who just fall for it, even if they're Muslim,
There's also there's just to pick an example of an example of like unreliable eyewitness testimony. There's a correlation that's striking between UFO abduction reports and the lack of cell phones, right? So we just have background knowledge that people make shit up all the time, and they lie and they misrepresent things whenever there's a lack of evidence to like corroborate whether what they're saying or not is true. It's not convincing to say, oh, there are 300 witnesses to the resurrection, or 50 people saw baby Jesus or the Virgin Mary at a time when there like wasn't any physical evidence to corroborate it.
Yeah, but what if you have like 300 independent witnesses, not like the Bible, where it's
We have
like 500 people.
tens
Like, yeah.
of thousands of fake UFO reports that just went away when cell phones were invented.
Yeah, that went away when phones were invented.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like people used to routinely claim that they were abducted by UFOs, and then with the invention of cell phone cameras, suddenly people started asking for receipts, and these reports mostly went away.
But we do have a bunch of.
It's also inversely proportional, which is important.
Well, I think the thing with like the photos and the apparition is different from that, because we do have a bunch of pictures of the of Zaytoon, but like we don't see the apparition. But the idea is supposed to be like, because Mary's ghost is not going to be captured by like a camera. It's supposed to be the explanation.
So this is getting into like Ghost Hunter stuff. Have you ever followed any of the Ghost Hunter hoaxes? There's a bunch of shows where they make money by like selling people on ghost hunting, and almost every single one of these has fallen apart with people admitting that it was all staged. Like the logic behind you can't see the ghost unless you like have a special ghost detector or whatever, just gets into like absurdity.
No, I know. I'm just saying that on the hypothesis that it was an actual apparition, it's expected that there wouldn't be any pictures, because like
why
is it?
That's kind of an ad hoc sort of use, but
that seems wrong to me, right? Isn't it still producing light?
Wait, why would apparitions be expected to be captured on film?
It's because it's divine light.
It's
divine light.
Yes, divine light, indeed.
That's.
But you think divine light is just going to be like regular light? Come on.
Wouldn't God's light be maximal light? Like, why would it be diminished light?
That's what Domesday tries to argue because like one question was like, how come we don't have like, because the apparition was happening over a period of 3 years, and they're like, why don't we have like a bunch of pictures of it? What he says is we do have a bunch of pictures of like church and people gathering, but we don't have any pictures of the apparition, because obviously apparitions don't get captured by camera because they're like supernatural, so they're not going to be captured by
the people that were there seeing it. They don't think that the actual light like hit their retinas. Like that's
well, maybe the size with like
divine light.
Well, the size by their souls or something.
So it doesn't have to hit your retinas. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they can always.
You saw the one I sent you that was from like 2009 at like another Coptic church or whatever. Where
yeah, but that was only for you're talking about Warok.
Yeah, I think so. And that one's just like so obviously a hoax, right?
Yeah, but that one was only for like a day, for like a couple of hours. Zaytoon was like 3 years, though. That's like the difference.
I mean, I don't know why that's such a big difference, but okay. I mean, they just kept it going.
I'm just saying, do you think they will? Well, I'm just saying, do you think that like whoever was doing the first off, who do you think is doing the hoax? Do you think it's the government, or do you think it's the church? Who do you think the hoaxer is supposed to be?
I mean, I'm inclined to think it's people in the church. Yeah, that's what I'm inclined to think.
So you think for like 3 years they managed to like fool the government, the Catholic Church, all of these people?
Yeah, because like I said to you, like I even think there, in that book you sent me, there's lines about how the authorities investigated and couldn't find any devices and this and that, and it's like that's kind of odd because they're not doing anything criminal, even if it is a hoax. It's not some kind of criminal activity.
But it is.
Why would the government be investigating it that way? Like, obviously, that makes it even harder to believe that that's true.
No, but it is confirmed that the government shut down all the electricity in an area, and at the point where the electricity was shut down, Mary appeared. Well, I don't want to say Mary appeared, but then people were like seeing the apparition at the point where it was confirmed that there was no electricity in the area.
Right, this is the claim. I mean, first of all, there's a couple different things where it's like if the way they were doing it required electricity, you don't need like public electricity to have electricity. Obviously, you can have like a generator or something, or it can just be some other light source like a fire rather than an electric light.
Yeah, but how is a fire gonna produce a figure of a woman with a bunch of doves flying on top of her, making the symbol of the cross?
It's a smoke and mirrors trick, right? The idea is that you just need a light source. It doesn't matter if it's a light bulb or fire.
Right. Also, yeah, it reminds me. Was I getting paid for judging this nonsense, or not?
Yeah, they said
you got paid in the experience.
You got paid in experience.
I got experience.
I mean, your name is out there now for so many people who want judges in the future. Like you got paid in exposure.
Yeah,
I'll
you
actually, I'll pay you next time if I want you to judge. I'll actually pay you next time.
Let's do this real quick.
Wait, Detroit, DM me your Venmo and I'll pay you $20 for judging.
Sure. Why were you judging this
Venmo's
instead
not
of debating Ethan when you've actually
Venmo's
got
not
like
available.
YouTube videos on the subject of the fine-tuning argument? And
no, one
Well,
second.
Detroit's kind of like new on the subject. AR's been teaching him.
Yeah,
true,
for sure.
But Sully, I'll pay you $40 if you debate Ethan on Zaytoon or
By the way, you're gonna need to pay me like $1,000, bro.
Well, you would do it for $40?
No.
Look, let's do this real quick. Hold on. Because we just reached 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. What we got to do is we got to have everyone in the call.
You should pay Detroit $40. That's good. That's a good idea, Monkey Boy.
No. We all gotta say my intro as a group.
Okay.
All right.
Yo, type the script in the chat and then we'll all read it.
This is a terrible idea.
No,
is the intro the part where Jack says that you're intersubjectively and like stands independently the best or something? That part?
Should I participate if I read slower than everybody else?
Yeah, that's
it's best that we read at different speeds, therefore it can capture all the unique voices.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's best.
Really gonna read it out? Okay.
Well, yeah, we don't. I mean, you weren't prepared.
No, that's not real. Anybody who needs to read
just copy and paste the DM
First YouTube channel is the best.
We need the script. If we need the script,
for the next time that we have a debate on a subject like this, where like ends prematurely, just imagine you're the UFC and like one of your fighters like gets sick and can't fight or something like that, right? You have to have like a backup. So in a duel, you have like, I don't know, like a second or something, or in a presidency, you have a vice president. I think you should have like a vice debater or a backup just to take their place, because someone should have picked up where Ethan left off, and the debate shouldn't have ended. And if the debate does end and people aren't satisfied with it, we should just switch to having other people debate the question.
Well, the problem is that nobody can pick up where Ethan leaves off because he's just so far past the league.
I warned AR, man. I said that Ethan takes the souls of the people that he debates and then stops them from entering the pearly gates.
I remember you did say that.
That's not what I heard. I heard that you said he sucks the souls out of the people he debates.
No, you just want to hear that.
He's mid.
Sometimes we psychologically distort what we hear in a way that's more.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
look, I wrote it out.
Can you blame me? You know.
Let's count down. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
3, 2. It's like blowing a birthday cake. 3, 2, 1. Monkey Boys YouTube channel is the
I'm talking from the motherfucking heart.
Boy.
That was the most autistic fucking thing I've ever heard.
I have to take my headphones off. I can't speak. Why the fuck are you peeking? Sorry.
That's gotta make it into a YouTube video too.
It's gonna make it.
Zach, that could be the intro into your fucking debate with AR. That's just gonna be the intro.
You just need to add that like board sound effect when they do the chorus voice with like the formant filter.
I did just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, so I applied to be monetized.
500 subscribers. I remember back in my day.
Back in
it only took like 13 people uploading videos to my channel, you know.
It took so much OnlyFans posts for me to get there.
Yeah. I remember my first couple dozen times purchasing some OnlyFans content from you. I was like, surely this is going to get old. But then I did it several dozen more times, and it never got old.
You know, I'm actually Troy's #1 Patreon subscriber. He actually sent me a notification. I mean, not Patreon, OnlyFans. I don't like his Patreon. But yeah, his OnlyFans content.
I remember when I could click on Detroit or Substack and not be met with a paywall. I remember that.
Are you on Fansly as well, or what?
He doesn't even have to answer. What a boss!
Of course.
What a boss.
Okay, let's all read it again. 3, 2, 1. All I'm saying is P is an external antecedent and Q is the choice. Does P imply Q? That's the... Oh, sorry.
Was very up about.
That doesn't sound like Monkey Boy's intro. I have a
it's a slight
an
twist on
intuitive
it.
induction going on there. What were you reading, Zach? What the fuck?
Because you can't track my position. Huh? What'd you say?
What the fuck are? Oh, you're reading side chat.
AR.
Yeah, I'm trying